The Donkey by G.K. Chesterton. Read for LibriVox.org by Noel Badrian, County Offaly, Ireland. When fishes flew and forests walked, and figs grew upon thorn, some moment when the moon was blood, then surely I was born, with monstrous head and sickening cry, and ears like errant wings, the devil's walking parody on all four-footed things, the tattered outlaw of the earth, of ancient crooked will. Starve, scourge, deride me, I am dumb, I keep my secret still. Fools, for I also had my hour, one far fierce hour and sweet. There was a shout about my ears, and palms before my feet. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Hello, this is Father Bob Warren of the Franciscan Friars of the Atonement. Thank you for listening to this rebroadcast of the Ave Maria Hour radio show. The Friars' popular Ave Maria Hour was first brought to the radio airwaves in 1939, recorded in New York City and on the mountainside grounds at Graymoor, our home in Garrison, New York. These timeless classic stories of the Bible and the lives of the saints came to life each week through dramatic reenactment by professional actors and actresses. You know, friends, Christ once said, "Do not hide your treasure under a bushel." In saying this, he meant share your gifts, share your talents. The Friars of the Atonement feel the message in these broadcasts remains as powerful and timely as when they were originally aired, and we are so happy to be able to share them with you today. To learn more about the missions and ministries of the Friars of the Atonement, I invite you to visit our website, www.atonementfriars.org. In the meantime, sit back and enjoy this rebroadcast of the Ave Maria Hour.
The story of St. Francis, the beloved little poor man of Assisi. More than 7 centuries ago, Francis Bernardone walked about the Italian countryside, a man who had made himself poor for the love of Christ, yet of his spiritual riches gave to all he met. Today there is not a country in the world where his name is not known, and there are few hearts the world over so hard that they have not responded to the spell of his unique personality. Saint of the whole world, truly, is Francis of Assisi.
Our story begins on a moonlit evening in the year 1202 in the old city of Assisi. Through its narrow, curving streets, in and out of the black shadows of the high stone walls, a gay procession is winding.
King of love, give us your blessing.
1,000 blessings, and welcome, my faithful subjects. But what need of them have you? The fair Maria is already beside you.
No one besides me, great monarch. Give me 1,000 blessings. Even better, I shall take one of the maids from your court.
Who entices the lady from my court is guilty of high treason. Away, base knave, with a head go roll to the ground.
You ask me what's wrong with the country? I'll tell you. When I was young, we didn't go through the public streets howling like a pack of wolves. Who's that young man with all those girls around him?
He's Francis, the son of Pietro Bernardone, the merchant. He's just back from Perugia, where he was a prisoner of war. He's a wild youth, but he'll quiet down once he's married and has a family.
I'll say what you will, but I tell you the situation is serious. Faith and decency are dying all over the country. The youth of our best families think nothing but revelry and fine clothes. crime and bloodshed are the order of the day.
Well, we can do nothing about it, and I at least must be getting home. My wife will be wondering what has become of me.
Well, I'll go with you as far as the corner. I have to call on Antonio, the wine merchant. If his shop is still open, I must... Be careful. There's a man lurking there in the shadow of the wall. Watch your purse.
He's not a robber. It's young Francis. I wonder if he's ill.
Well, if he's ill, it's no concern of mine.
Francis!
Here come the others looking for him.
Francis! Where are you? You're spoiling all the fun. I see him. Hey, Francis. What's wrong? Francis.
What's the matter, man? Can't you speak?
Nothing. Nothing is the matter. I'm only thinking.
Thinking? That's a rare occupation when everyone else is making merry.
The poor fellow must be in love.
The
king of love has fallen victim to his own spell. Who is she, Francis?
Yes, tell us her name.
Is she beautiful? Most important of all, is she rich?
My friend, she is. Someone richer and more beautiful than any of you can imagine.
And now the moon has risen to mid-heaven. The revelers have gone to their homes, and good citizens can sleep again. But in the deserted street, Francis Bernardone stands long before the door of his father's house, gazing up at the bright moonlit sky.
I told them she was richer, more beautiful than any they could imagine. Poverty. My Lady Poverty. Yes, truly. To yield heart and soul to her in perfect love would be the greatest romance of all. Have I courage for that? I who love beauty and laughter, fine clothes, good food. Why do you seek me, O Christ, when there are better, braver souls whom you might call to your service? Almost I could beg you let me remain content as other men with the things of the world. Oh, but I do not beg it, my lord. No, no. Continue to speak to my heart, dear master. Make your will known to me. But give me courage when you do, for I am very much afraid.
Francis made a pilgrimage to Rome and returned, to all appearances, still a wealthy young worldling. One day, as he was riding past the great leper hospital on the outskirts of the city...
Yes, I would be a poor one to minister in God's name to the sick. That day in Rome, when I traded clothes with a beggar that I might know the feeling of wretchedness at first hand. Oh. Even now my flesh crawls at the thought of the filthy rags that covered it. And now the smell of decay that comes from these walls makes me faint. Noble men devote their lives to nursing the living dead behind that gate. But I could not bear to look at them. Their diseased, ravaged faces and...
Alms, for the love of God. Good sir, I beg you have pity on one whom God has afflicted with the dread disease of leprosy.
Francis pulled his horse to a stop.
Alms.
Here is my purse.
Your purse, my lord.
There is gold inside it. But hold out your hand.
But I am a leper, my lord. You must not come near.
Hold out your hand, dear brother. Here is the purse. And now I kiss that afflicted hand in reverence. For truly you who have suffered so greatly must be very near the heart of our dear Lord.
Oh, thank you, great sir. Thank you.
We embraced as brothers. And suddenly compassion let me see his ravaged face as beautiful. I have conquered fear and horror. I thank you, my Lord. From my heart, I thank you. Such happiness as I know now, I have never felt before.
Now Francis often visits the leper hospital and spends hours talking with the inmates and attending to their needs. And with all the ardor of his soul, he prays for guidance that he may find his rightful place in the world. Then one day he comes upon a poor, half-ruined church in a field outside the city walls. It is the church of San Damiano, and on its wall is a very old crucifix, skillfully and lovingly painted by some long-forgotten artist.
Here is reality, the utmost of suffering and defeat, yet the greatest of triumphs. The answer to all the world's problems is here, if one can but read it. Love that surpasses all other love, limitless compassion, infinite generosity. O my crucified Lord, I love you so greatly. My heart could break with the pain of its loving. Show me what you would have me do, that my love of you may bear fruit.
Francis, go and repair my church, which, as you see, is falling into ruin.
Was it a voice that spoke to me? Or a thought so suddenly strong, it was like a voice? Go and repair his church, he said. I will need money. More money than I have in my purse. I will find it. I must. The call has come. I must obey it.
Francis quickly turned all his possessions into money. Money he must use in the service of the Lord. But not everyone understood his generosity. His father, the elder Bernardone, shrewd businessman that he was, had scant patience with his son. And so, a few days later, in the home of Guido, Bishop of Assisi...
Good people of Assisi, no doubt you all know the purpose for which we are assembled here. Pietro Bernardone, here on my right, has instituted legal proceedings against his son, Francis. Signor Bernardone, will you tell us in your own words why you have taken so serious a step? A step that must be painful to you as well as to your son.
Painful, my Lord Bishop. It's no more painful than it would be to prosecute any thief and swindler. This thief who bears my name came rushing home the other day, loaded his horse with several bolts of cloth from my store, drove to the public market and sold them. Sold them at any price he could get for them into the bargain. Not only that, but sold the horse as well.
I understood you to say the horse was his.
His to use. But in reality, no more his to sell than was the cloth. Surely you agree, my Lord Bishop.
Well, perhaps. Let us pass on to the question of the use that was made of the money.
Use? Misuse, you mean? The money he took to the priest in charge of the little church of San Damiano. The priest had far more sense than he had. Told him the money was not his to give away and refused to accept it. Whereupon, as if it were so much worthless paper, Francis tossed it down and forgot all about it.
Did the boy then return home?
Not he. For some time he remained with the priest of San Damiano. When he did finally return home, how did he come? In beggar's rags, with a crowd of scoffing townspeople at his heels. It was the most humiliating moment I've ever known.
And what action did you take then?
The action any father would take. I gave him the beating he deserved and shut him up in his room.
And did Francis return the money?
He did not. He gave me some cock and bull story about it being no longer his to return, since he had offered it to the church. I told him I would have him into court. To that the young scamp had the audacity to reply that he had vowed his life to the service of God, and therefore must be tried not in the civil court, but in our bishop's court. I appeal to you, my lord. If this sort of thing is allowed to continue, I will be reduced to penury.
Well, now, do I understand you want to disinherit your son, Signor Bernardone?
That's exactly what I want. Certainly no man can blame me.
Just a moment. Francis Bernardone?
Yes, my Lord Bishop.
You have heard the charges your father brings against you. Have you anything to say in your own defense?
I have nothing to say, my Lord.
If, as you say, you want to be God's servant, I advise you to return the money which your father demands. It is not rightfully yours, so I am certain God would not want it used in his service. Return the money, Francis. Then perhaps we may heal this sad quarrel between your father and yourself.
My lord, I give back the money gladly. Not only the money, but all I wear was given me by my father and is rightfully his. He shall have the clothes as well.
Young Bernardone has spirit. See? He's removing all his clothes and dropping them there at his father's feet along with the purse.
Listen, everybody. Until now I call Pietro Bernardone my father. Henceforth I desire to say only our Father who art in heaven.
In a rough cloak supplied by the bishop, Francis left the bishop's court. He was homeless and penniless, and as yet his vocation had not been revealed to him. One chapter of his life had ended, the chapter of his carefree youth. Soon his mission would begin. 3 years go by, years spent in the rebuilding of San Damiano by the labor of his own hands, in visiting his friends the lepers, in discovering and repairing another almost ruined church, the tiny church of St. Mary of the Angels, better known as the Porciuncula. Then one morning at Mass, as he listens to the gospel for the day,
"And as you go, preach the message, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Cure the sick, raise the dead, cleanse the lepers, cast out devils. Freely you have received, freely give. Do not keep gold or silver or money in your girdles, no wallet for your journey, nor 2 tunics, nor sandals, nor staff. For the laborer deserves his living."
Those were his words to his disciples, and why not to me? Freely I have received the joy of his friendship. Why shouldn't I as freely give it to others? I have neither gold, nor silver, nor wallet, nor staff. Why shouldn't I go forth as they went, simply telling the story of his life and death and glorious resurrection? There are my friends, the workmen, gathered there in the field for lunch. Perhaps they will listen.
Francis!
Yes?
Francis! Come and rest with us a while, Francis. Have you finished your work on the church?
Almost.
You look happy. What have you found? Buried treasure?
Yes, my brothers. I have found treasure buried where all who seek can find. Listen to our sisters, the birds. How merrily they sing. See how gaily our brother, the sun, showers his golden rays on all the world. They and we are all God's creatures. Why shouldn't we rejoice in his goodness together?
What? A sermon? Keep still and listen.
My brothers, you will say that there is sickness and death in the world, and poverty and great suffering. I say to you, look upon these things, too, as instruments of God's love. Sickness and suffering are things of a moment, a day, a year. They will pass and be forgotten forever in the eternal joy of heaven. What is death but the opening of a gate through which, if we will, we may pass to the presence of the blessed? And poverty. My lady, poverty. She is blessed, for she walked the paths of Judea with our Lord himself. She is very beautiful, my lady poverty, and very wise. Well she knows that the burden of many possessions hinders our progress to the realities of God's kingdom. Accept the lady poverty as your friend. Let her teach you of her wisdom. Accept her.
Perhaps Francis does not realize it, but his great mission has begun. His simple words, his earnestness, the brightness of his handsome young face wins for him increasing numbers of hearers. Barefooted, with a piece of rope girding his single rough garment at the waist, he walks from town to town preaching his simple gospel of love for Christ and one's fellow men, and joyful confidence in God's goodness. 2 other young men come to join him now. Peter Cattaneo, a lay canon of the cathedral, and Bernard of Quintavalle, when they ask him what they may do to serve the Lord.
It's too big a question for me to decide. God must decide for me. We will all three go to the church, and after we've asked his guidance, we will open the Bible, see what passage our eyes are led to.
If thou wilt be perfect, go sell what thou hast and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven.
Any man will come after me. Let him deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me.
And he commanded them that they should take nothing for the journey.
Brothers, 3 times have we opened the Bible, and the 3 passages make a complete whole. God has heard and...
3. But he's so wasted, so frail.
Oh, you young brothers know little of our Father. It is penance and much fasting that have wasted his body. It is tears of sorrow for the sins of the world that have almost washed the sight from his eyes. His body is too frail to house the great spirit that lives within it. Soon I think that spirit will be freed of the flesh. But mind, when I speak of penance and tears, that our Father has always performed his penances joyfully and for love, and his tears have been only half sadness, and the rest joy. He is the happiest of men, our Father.
And what does he do all day there in the hut, Brother Leo?
He prays, and for hours at a time, while his body remains kneeling in the hut, his spirit is wrapped in close communion with God. Only the other night I went to see if all was well with him, and found him kneeling among the trees as our Lord knelt in the garden.
Could you hear his words?
Only a few. I stole up through the trees, and as I came near, he raised his face to heaven. There was such brightness in his face as I have never seen. I strained my ears for his words and heard him say, "Who art thou, O my most sweet God? And what am I, most vile worm and worthless servant?" It was as if the small spark of knowledge that lives in most of us had become in him a great flame, and in its brightness he contemplated and understood the infinite. Then he saw me and gently reproached me for spying on him, and I returned here.
Brothers, our Father comes forth from the hut. Where is he? I don't see him.
There, standing with his face to the rising sun. He doesn't see us. He's watching that great bird that is flying towards us from the east.
What bird can it be? It's larger than the largest eagle.
It is a seraph, such as the prophets described of old. A seraph with arms extended, as it were, upon a cross.
It approaches our Father.
It embraces him.
He's wrapped in its brightness as in a great fire.
The seraph has faded now, and our Father has fallen to the ground. Come quickly, we must go to him.
Father Francis, are you alive?
Yes, Brother Leo. Give me your hand. I have no strength to rise.
Father, your hands, your feet, the marks of crucifixion.
Speak to no one of these marks, brothers. The world would not understand.
Neither do I understand, Father Francis. What is this we have seen?
I have no words to tell you, brother. You have seen that for which there are no words.
So, in the last chapter of Francis' life, came the great mystery of the stigmata, wounds similar to our Lord's in his hands, feet, and side. There were less than 2 years left of this chapter, years of great bodily pain, of increasing blindness, little moments of darkness before the bright light of heaven should envelop him forever.
Now it is October the 3rd of the year 1226, the 45th year of Francis Bernardone's life. The brothers surround his bed. One by one, he has given them his blessing. Our sisters, the larks are singing praises to the Lord. Let us join our voices with theirs.
How can we sing when our hearts are heavy? How can we rejoice when we know you'll soon be taken from us?
My son, I at least shall rejoice. I shall welcome Sister Death when she comes. Until she comes, let us recite a psalm. Brother Leo, will you begin?
I shall try. I cried unto the Lord with my voice. I made supplication to the Lord.
I cried to thee, O Lord. I said, thou art my hope, my portion in the land of the living.
Bring my soul out of prison, that I may praise thy name. The just wait for me until thou reward me.
Lux presents Hollywood. The Lux Radio Theater brings you Claudette Colbert and Fred MacMurray in His Girl Friday with Jack Carson. Ladies and gentlemen, your producer, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille. Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. And that goes double for the ladies and gentlemen of the press, because we feel a slight pang of regret for what we're about to do to them. It's been rumored that they don't ordinarily behave as our play tonight would indicate, but we gaily beg their indulgence on the ground that His Girl Friday is an exceptional case. Tonight we present a lady of the press in the engaging person of Claudette Colbert, and a gentleman of the same profession played by Fred MacMurray. A perfect team for the hectic happenings of the next hour. And right now, I'm going to give away a trade secret about this comedy. Most of you will remember a famous play about the newspaper business called The Front Page. Well, any resemblance between that play and His Girl Friday is no coincidence, but entirely intentional. This Columbia screen hit, produced by Harry Cohn and Sam Briskin, was based on The Front Page, but certain differences make it practically a new story. Hildy Johnson, the hero, used to be a man. Tonight, Hildy is a lady, a very charming lady, Claudette Colbert. Walter Burns, the autocrat of the editorial rooms, is just as autocratic as ever, with Fred MacMurray in the part. And between rapid adventures with an escaped maniac, a crooked sheriff, a last-minute reprieve, and a kidnapped mother-in-law, they even manage to find time for romance. I'm sure every woman will agree that the silent partner of romance is loveliness. And that's why so many millions of women choose Lux toilet soap. They know that Lux toilet soap is a very active partner of loveliness. Now a quick signal to the switchboard. The footlights brighten and the curtain rises on the first act of His Girl Friday, starring Claudette Colbert as Hildy Johnson and Fred MacMurray as Walter Burns, with Jack Carson as Bruce Baldwin. When a young and charming ex-wife drops in to see her ex-husband, there usually arises what is known as a delicate situation, particularly when she brings along her new fiancé. But Hildy Johnson, our ex-wife, was never fazed by a delicate situation. Bruce Baldwin, the new fiancé, was not consulted in the matter, and Walter Burns, the ex-husband and managing editor of the Morning Post, doesn't know about it yet. He's in his office as Hildy barges cheerfully through the city room, her fiancé a few steps to the rear.
Hiya, Hildy. Hello, Skitty. Hiya, Ruth. Hello, Maisie.
Hildy Johnson.
How are you?
Say,
what are you doing here? You coming back to work, Hildy?
No, just visiting. This is my fiancé, Mr. Baldwin.
Oh, hello.
Pleased to meet you, I'm sure.
Tell me, is the Lord of the Universe in?
Mr. Burns? Yes, he's in a bad humor.
Is that unusual?
He's got Louis Peluso in there with him. You want to be announced, Hildy?
No. I'll blow my own horn. Bruce, he's in, so you'd better wait here. I'll be back in 10 minutes.
Even 10 minutes is a long time to be away from you.
What did you say?
Oh,
I'll go on, Bruce.
Well, I said even 10 minutes is a long time to be away from you.
I heard you the first time. I like it. That's why I asked you to say it again. You know, I can stand being spoiled a little. The gentleman I'm going in to see did very little spoiling.
I'd like to spoil him just once. Are you sure you don't want me to go in with you?
No, I can handle it. You just keep your eye on that door. See, Walter Burns, managing editor. I'll be coming out in 10 minutes.
Well, if it gets rough, remember I'm here.
I'll come running, partner. Goodbye, darling.
Goodbye.
Okay, call me right back.
Morning, Mr. Burns. Hello, Louis.
Hey, boss, your ex-wife is here.
Hello, I can't hear you.
How have you been, Mr. Peluso? How's the big slot machine king?
No, I ain't doing that no more. I'm retired, know what I mean?
No.
I'm a newspaper man now, working for Mr. Burns.
Okay, goodbye. Hildy. Hello, Hildy.
Hello, Walter.
Say, this is great. Outside, Louis.
Sure.
Gee, honey, you look swell.
Walter, I've got to see you right away.
No, not now, Duffy.
But listen.
No, not now. I'm busy.
Walter, I thought you ought to know that the governor did not sign that reprieve.
What?
And tomorrow morning, Earl Williams dies and makes a sucker out of us. What are you going to do?
Excuse me, Hildy.
Oh, sure.
Get the governor on the phone, Duffy.
I can't. He's out fishing.
Well, get him anyhow. Tell him if he reprieves Earl Williams, we'll support him for senator.
What?
Tell him the Morning Post will be behind him, hook, line, and sinker.
But you can't do that.
Why not?
Because we've been against him for 6 years.
All right, after we get the reprieve, we'll be against him again.
But, Walter...
Come on, Duffy, get going.
All right.
Well, Walter, I see you're still at it.
Yeah, first time I ever double-crossed the governor. Hildy, you look prettier than ever.
Well, thanks. You mind if I sit down?
Well, there's a lamp burning in the window for you, honey.
I jumped out of that window a long time ago.
Yeah. How long since we've seen each other?
Well, let's see. I was in Reno 6 weeks, and then Bermuda, about 4 months, I guess. Seems like yesterday to me.
Maybe it was yesterday, Hildy. Been seeing me in your dreams?
No. Mama doesn't dream about you anymore, Walter. You wouldn't know the old girl now.
Oh, yes, I would. I'd know you anytime, any
place,
anywhere.
Anywhere. Yes, you're repeating yourself, honey. That's the speech you made the night you proposed.
Yeah, I noticed you still remember it.
Of course I remember it. If I hadn't remembered it, I wouldn't have divorced you.
Yeah. You know, Hildy, I sort of wish you hadn't done that.
Done what?
Divorced me. Makes a fellow lose all faith in himself. Gives him a feeling he isn't wanted.
Now, look, Junior, that's what divorces are for.
Oh, nonsense. You've got an old-fashioned idea that divorces are something that lasts forever. But divorces don't mean a thing nowadays, Hildy. Just a few words mumbled over you by a judge. We've got something between us nothing can change.
I suppose you're right in a way.
Sure, I'm right.
I am fond of you, you know.
Atta girl.
I often wish you weren't such a stinker.
It's a nice thing to say.
Why did you promise not to fight the divorce and then do everything you could to gum up the whole work?
Oh, Hildy, I only acted like any husband that didn't want to see his home broken up.
What home?
What home? Don't you remember the home I promised you?
Sure I do. That's the one we were to have right after our honeymoon. Yes, the honeymoon.
Now, was that my fault? Did I know the coal mine was going to cave in? I intended to be with you on our honeymoon, Hildy. Honest, I did.
All I know is that instead of 2 weeks in Atlantic City with my bridegroom, I spent 2 weeks in a coal mine with John Krupski. You don't deny that, do you?
Deny it? I'm proud of it. We beat the whole country on that story.
Well, suppose we did. That isn't what I got married for.
Oh, Hildy, what's the use of fighting? I'll tell you what. You come back to work in the paper, and if we find we can't get along in a friendly way, we'll get married again.
What?
Sure. I haven't got any hard feelings.
Walter, you're wonderful in a loathsome sort of way.
You mean you won't come back to work in the paper?
You're right, Mr. Burns. The first time today.
You got a better offer, huh?
You bet I've got a better offer.
All right, go on, take it. Work for somebody else. That's the gratitude I get. What were you when you came here 5 years ago? A little college girl from a school of journalism. I took a little doll-faced punk
and...
Oh,
you wouldn't have taken me if I hadn't been doll-faced.
Well, what of it? I made a great reporter out of you.
It just didn't work out well.
Well, it would have worked if you'd been satisfied with just being editor and reporter. But not you. You had to marry me and spoil everything.
I suppose I proposed to you.
Well, you practically did. Made Google eyes at me for 2 years.
Why, you...
Hey, put down that inkwell. Ah, Hildy, you're losing your eyes. Used to be able to pitch better than that. Hello?
Hello, Walter. This is Duffy again.
Oh, hello, Sweeney. What can I do for you?
Now, wait a minute. I'm not Sweeney. I'm Duffy.
Sweeney, you can't do that to me. Not today of all days.
What's the matter with you? Are you loony? This is Duffy.
Now, listen, Sweeney. This is no time
Walter, I have to.
All right, then. If you have to, you have to, I guess.
He had to, huh?
How do you like that? Everything happens to me.
What's the matter?
Sweeney, the only man in the paper that can write, and he has to pick today to have a baby.
Well, he didn't do it on purpose, did he?
I don't care whether he did or not. He's supposed to cover the Earl Williams case, and where is he? Walking up and down in a hospital. Is there no sense of honor in this country?
Haven't you got anybody else?
No, there's nobody else in the paper who can write. This'll break me, and Hildy. Hildy, you've got to help me.
No, sir.
Don't let me down in my darkest hour. It'll bring us together again, Hildy, like we used to be.
Oh, scram, Svengali.
Well, if you won't do it for love, how about money? I'll raise you $25 a week.
Will you listen to me, you great big bumble-headed baboon? Do you see this on my finger? Do you know what it is? It's an engagement ring.
Engagement ring? No.
Well, I tried to tell you right away, but you would start reminiscing. I'm getting married, Walter, and I'm also getting as far away from the newspaper business as I can get.
Huh?
I'm through.
No, Hildy. You can get married all you want, but you can't quit the newspaper business.
No, why not?
It'd kill you. You're a newspaper man. You're a journalist, Hildy.
A journalist? Now, what does that mean? Peeking through keyholes, chasing after fire engines, stealing pictures off old ladies. Oh, I know all about reporters, Walter. A lot of daffy Budinskis running around without a nickel in their pockets. And for what? Just so... Oh, well, what's the use? You wouldn't know what it means to me anyway. I want to be respectable and live a halfway normal life. The point is, I'm through.
Where'd you meet this man?
Bermuda?
Rich, huh?
No, he's not what you'd call rich.
What's his line?
He's in the insurance business.
The insurance business?
Well, that's a good, honest business, isn't it?
Oh, sure. It's also adventurous and romantic. Now, listen, Hildy, I can't picture you being surrounded by policies.
I can, and what's more, I like it. Besides, he forgets the office when he's with me. He doesn't treat me like an animal either, Walter. He treats me like a woman.
Oh, he does he? How'd I treat you, like a water buffalo?
I don't know about water buffaloes, but I know about him. Oh, he's kind and sweet, and he's considerate. He wants a home and children.
Sounds more like a guy I ought to marry. What's his name?
Baldwin. Bruce Baldwin.
Baldwin. I knew a Baldwin once, a horse thief in Mississippi. Couldn't be the same fella, could it?
No, you're not talking about the man I'm marrying tomorrow.
Tomorrow? As soon as that, huh?
Yeah. No. Well, at last I got out what I came up here to tell you. I guess there isn't any more to the story. So long, Walter.
Oh, no, wait a minute, Hildy. You kind of took the wind out of my sails. Look, honey, I just want to wish you everything I couldn't give you.
Thank you, Walter.
I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to meet him. I'm more or less particular about whom my wife marries. Where is he?
Well, he's right on the job, waiting for me outside.
Oh, well, you mind if I meet him?
Of course not.
Well, then come on, let's see this paragon. Is he as good as you say?
He's better.
Well, then what does he want with you?
Well, now you got me. Bruce dear.
Yes, Hildy?
Bruce, I want you to meet Mr. Burns. Mr. Baldwin, my fiancé.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Burns?
Oh, go on, it's a gag.
Huh?
It's a gag. You're not Bruce Baldwin.
Walter, what are you trying to...
Really, is he? Certainly, Bruce Baldwin.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, Mr. Baldwin. Hildy, you led me to believe you were marrying a much older man.
Oh, really? And what did I say that led you to...
don't worry about it. I realize you didn't mean older in years.
Oh.
You always carry an umbrella, Bruce?
Yeah, well, it looked a little cloudy this morning.
That's right, it did. Rubbers, too, I hope.
Uh-huh.
That's fine. Man ought to be prepared for any emergency.
Bruce, I think we'd better be running along.
Yeah, we better get going.
Where are we going?
Oh, I'm taking you two to lunch. Hildy, didn't you tell him?
No, she didn't.
You're wasting your time, Walter. It won't do a bit of good.
Oh, no, glad to do it. Well. So you two are going to get married, huh? You're getting a great girl, Bruce.
I realize that.
Yes, and you're getting something else, too, Bruce. You're getting a great newspaper man.
No orchids, Walter.
One of the best I ever knew. Sorry to see you go, Hildy. Darn sorry.
I'd like to believe you meant that.
I do mean it. But I know what you want, Hildy. You want a home.
Well, I'll certainly try to give her one.
I know you will, Bruce. Where are you going to live?
Albany.
Albany, huh? Got a family there, Bruce?
Oh, just my mother.
Oh, your mother, huh? You going to live with her?
Well, just for the first year.
That'll be nice. A home with mother. In Albany, too. Ow, hey, Hildy, what'd you kick me for?
I'm sorry, Walter. My foot must have slipped.
Oh, okay. Well, let's have a drink, shall we? What do you say? Hey, guys.
Oh, no, not for me. I've got to buy the tickets yet and check the baggage. We're taking the sleeper for Albany.
Oh, are you leaving today?
Uh-huh, 4 o'clock. We're getting married tomorrow.
Well, let me get this straight. You mean you're taking the sleeper today and then getting married tomorrow?
Oh, well, it's not like that.
Well, what is it like?
Oh, poor Walter. He'll toss and turn all night, Bruce. You'd better tell him Mother's coming along, too.
Mother? Well, your mother kicked the bucket 3 years ago.
Oh, no, my mother. My mother.
Oh, your mother.
Yes.
Well, that relieves my mind.
No, it was cruel to let you suffer that way, wasn't it? Isn't Walter sweet, Bruce? Always wanting to protect me.
Well, I admit I wasn't much of a husband, but you can always count on me.
Oh, Mr. Burns.
Yeah, guys.
You're one on the phone.
Oh, thanks. Excuse me, will you? I'll be right back.
Not at all.
Don't be long. We've got to leave.
Right away. Hello?
Hello, Walter. This is Duffy.
Oh, Duffy, I'm glad you called.
About that lead.
No, forget it. Listen. Is there any way we could stop the 4 o'clock train to Albany from leaving town?
Sure. We got dynamite.
Oh, okay, never mind. Now get this. Get hold of Sweeney and send him out of town on a 2-week vacation right away.
But, Walter, he's covering the Williams hanging.
Keep your shirt on. Hildy's coming back in the paper.
She is?
Yeah, she doesn't know it yet, but she's staying. And listen, tell Louis to stick around the office. I may need him. In the meantime...
I kind of wish he'd hurry up. You know, Hildy, he's not such a bad fellow.
No, he should make some girl really happy. Slap happy.
I sort of like him. He's got a lot of charm.
Yeah, he comes by it naturally. His grandfather was a snake.
Here he is. Say, he looks all upset.
Sorry, folks.
Something wrong, Walter?
Yeah, bad business.
What's the matter?
The Earl Williams case.
Oh, yes, I've been reading about that.
What's the lowdown?
It's simple, honey. The poor little dope lost his job. Went nuts and shot a cop who was coming after him to quiet him down, and now they're going to hang him tomorrow.
Well, if he was out of his mind when he did it, why doesn't the state just put him away?
Because there happens to be an election coming up in a couple of days.
And nothing brings in the votes like a good old-fashioned hanging.
Well, I should think you could show the man wasn't responsible.
No, that's not so easy.
Well, maybe it's not so hard either.
What do you mean, Hildy?
Well, don't they have to have another expert examine him before they hang him?
Oh, sure. A guy named Egelhofer's going to do it. Why?
Well, look, Walter. You get an interview with Earl Williams.
Yeah?
Print Egelhofer's statement.
Yeah?
And right alongside it, double column, you run your interview. Alienist says he's sane. Interview shows he's goofy.
Hildy, you could do it. You could save that poor devil's life.
No.
Oh, that's right. You're going away. I forgot.
Well, how long would the interview take?
Oh, only an hour for the interview and another hour to write it, that's all.
Well, Hildy, we could take the 6 o'clock train if it would save a man's life.
Well, sure.
No. Walter, if you want to save Earl Williams' life, you can just interview him yourself. Or else get Sweeney. He's the best man you've got on that paper for start.
Poor Sweeney. Duffy just told me. His wife finally had twins. Isn't that terrible? So Sweeney goes out to celebrate and falls down a flight of steps. Sweeney has twins, so Earl Williams hangs tomorrow.
Oh, now, Walter, it isn't as bad as that.
Oh, look, Bruce, argue with her, will you? Argue with her. Otherwise, you're going on a honeymoon with blood on your hands. How can you have any happiness after that? All through the years, you'll remember that a man went to the gallows because she was too selfish to wait 2 hours.
Wait a minute.
What's the matter?
I just remembered. Sweeney only got married 4 months ago.
You win.
Then Mrs. Sweeney didn't have twins?
No, honey, the twins were Walter's.
Oh, it was nothing. Here, we'll start all over again. I'll offer you two a business proposition. Bruce, I understand you're in the insurance game.
Don't listen to him, Bruce. I know all his tricks from
Hildy,
way
I'm
back.
talking to him. Now, look, Bruce. You persuade Hildy to do this story, and you can write a nice, fat policy for me. What do you say?
Oh, no, Mr. Burns. I won't use my wife for business purposes.
Wait a minute. How big a policy, Walter?
Oh, $25,000?
What?
$50,000? $100,000?
Bruce, what's the commission on a $100,000 policy?
Around $1,000.
So what's wrong with $1,000? How long would it take to get him examined?
Well, I could get a company doctor here in 20 minutes.
Okay, I'll get the story.
Now you're talking.
You keep out of this. Bruce, take him down to the office and see if they'll allow anything on that carcass of his.
Say, I'm better now than I ever was.
That's nothing to brag about. And look, Bruce, after you get the check, you phone me. I'll be in the press room of the criminal court building. Oh, Walter.
Yeah?
I think you'd better make that a certified check.
What do you think I am, a crook?
Yes.
All right, it'll be certified. Want my fingerprints?
No, thanks. I've still got those. Bruce, how much money have you got on you?
Well, you know everything we have. $500.
Well, give me the $500.
But I have to get the tickets.
No, I'll buy the tickets.
But, Hildy,
Oh, really, darling? I know what I'm doing. He'd get you in a crap game. Now, please.
Well, all right. Here you are.
Thanks. And when you've finished examining this imperfect specimen, remember now, call me. Press room, criminal court building.
I will. Be careful now.
Never mind me. Watch out for yourself. You're in bad company.
Hello, press room. Accused speaking. Hey, who is this? Oh, the sheriff. Hiya, Sheriff. Oh, wait a minute, I'll ask him. Hey. Sheriff Hartwell says we're making too much noise.
Tell him to go soak his head.
Go soak your head, Sheriff.
I got 3 aces.
Hiya, boys.
Hey, look, it's Hildy Tunt.
Hi, Eddie. Hiya, Joe.
Hiya, Hildy. Glad to see you.
Glad to see you.
Coming back to work, Hildy?
No. This is just a farewell appearance. I'm going into business for myself.
What doing?
I'm getting married tomorrow.
Hey, you're not fooling us, are you, Hildy?
No, on the level. Look what I've got right here. 3 tickets for Albany on the 6 o'clock train tonight.
What do you mean, 3 tickets?
Me and my beau and, hats off, boys, his sweet darling Ma.
What? Your mother-in-law?
What kind of marriage is that?
No, it's going to be all right. I'm going to settle down. I'm through with the newspaper business.
Oh, sure. Hey, can you picture Hildy singing lullabies and hanging out the didies? And swapping lies over the back fence?
Sour grapes, boys.
She'll be back as soon as she gets tired beating rugs. Too bad you can't stick around till tomorrow, Hildy. You're missing a nice hanging.
Say, I have to do a yarn on Williams. Did he know what he was doing when he fired that gun?
If you ask us, no. If you ask the state alienist, the answer is yes.
Press room.
Huh? Who? Oh, yeah, she's here.
Is that for me?
Yeah.
Here, hand it over. Hello?
Hello, Hildy?
Oh, yes, darling. Did you get the check from Walter?
Sure, certified and everything. I got it right here in my pocket.
In your pocket. That's fine.
Uh-huh.
No, wait a minute. Maybe it isn't so fine. Where are you?
I'm in Mr. Burns' office.
Well, now, look, Bruce. I don't want you to carry that check around in your pocket.
Hildy, it's all right. The check is made out to the company. Nobody can cash it, and anyway, I wouldn't lose a check like that. It means too much to us.
Don't worry, Hildy.
Look, Bruce, do what I say, will you? I don't want you to carry that check in your pocket, please.
Yeah, but I think it's all right.
There's an old newspaper superstition that the first big check you get, you put in the lining of your hat. See? It brings you luck.
Well, Hildy, that's silly.
I know, darling, but do it for me.
Oh, all right.
And look, tell Walter I'm going right over to Earl Williams' cell to get the interview. I'll phone it in as soon as I can.
I'll tell him.
Goodbye, dear.
Goodbye.
Everything all right, Bruce?
Oh, yes, Hildy said to tell you she'd get right to work.
Oh, fine.
Well, I must be going now. Thanks again, Mr. Burns.
Oh, don't mention it, Bruce. Don't mention it. I'd do anything for you and Hildy.
Yes, I'm beginning to realize that. Well, goodbye, Mr. Burns.
Goodbye, Bruce. Oh, and don't forget your umbrella. Might rain, you know.
Huh? Oh, thanks. Well, goodbye.
Goodbye. Hey, Louie. Louie, come in here.
Yeah, boss.
Come here. Listen, did you see the guy that just left here?
That dope?
Yeah, I want you to follow him. He's on his way to the railroad station to get the 6 o'clock train for Albany. He's not supposed to get there, see?
I get it. What'll I do to him, boss?
I don't care what you do to him, but try to keep it legal.
Leave it to me.
Hello? Hello, is this the press room? I want to speak to Miss Johnson.
Hello, who is this?
Hildy, is this you?
Oh, hello, Bruce. What is it?
Hildy, something terrible has happened. I'm in jail.
What?
Some fella says I stole his watch.
Stole his watch? What are you talking about?
Some fella on the street. He said I stole his watch, and then he had me arrested.
Well, what fellow? Who?
I never saw him before. His name is Louis Peluso.
Louis Peluso. Oh, Bruce, where are you?
I'm in jail. He says that
I know. What jail?
The 43rd precinct. Hildy, I didn't steal his...
I know you didn't. Never mind that now. Bruce, sit tight. I'll have you out in 10 minutes.
Hello, Murphy calling. I'm still in the press room. Nothing new on the Williams case. I'll call you if something happens.
Hello, boys.
Well, Sheriff Caldwell. Sheriff, this is an honor.
Got the kidding, boys. Here, I got the tickets for the hanging. One each, that's all.
Hey, Pete, why can't you hang this guy at 5 o'clock instead of 7?
Sure, it wouldn't hurt you, and we can make the city edition.
Well, that's kind of raw, fellas. You can't hang a man in his sleep just to please a newspaper.
No, but you can reprieve him twice so the hanging is 3 days before election.
Yeah, so you and the mayor can run on a law and order ticket.
Honest, boys, I had absolutely nothing to do with those reprieves.
Yeah? How do we know there won't be another reprieve tonight?
What if this guy Egelhopper finds Williams insane?
He won't find him insane because he isn't. He's just as sane as I am.
Saner.
Oh, you fellas make me tired. You try to do a decent turn for you once.
Hiya, Hildy. Where have you been?
To the 43rd precinct. Hello, Post. This is Hildy Johnson. Get Walter Burns on the phone.
What's the matter, Hildy? You look sore.
Oh, you stick around and watch your lady burn.
Uh-oh, something...
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, Walter. This is Hildy.
How are you, Hildy?
I've got some news for you.
Oh, swell. Did you get the interview?
Yeah, I've got something much more important. Maybe you better get a pencil and take it down.
All set, Hildy. Let it go.
Now get this, you double-crossing chimpanzee. There isn't going to be any interview.
Wait a minute,
And there
Hildy.
isn't going to be any story. And that certified check of yours leaves with me in 20 minutes. I wouldn't cover the burning of Rome for you if they were just lighting it. And if I ever lay my 2 eyes on you again, I'll hammer that monkey skull of yours so it rings like a Chinese gong.
Hey, what are you sore about?
Oh, you don't know what I'm sore about?
No.
Well, maybe you'd better get Louis to tell you the story of his watch. Goodbye.
Hildy.
Nice going, Hildy.
That's telling him.
That, gentleman, was my farewell speech to journalism. Goodbye, boys. I'm off to Albany.
Send us a postcard, kid.
I'll do that.
When will we see you again, Hildy?
Well, the next time you see me, I'll be riding in a limousine giving out interviews on success. So long.
What the? Was that a shot?
It sure sounded like it.
Hey, listen. It's a jailbreak. Come here, that window.
What?
Hey, what's the matter down there? What's happened?
What's that gate? Close that gate!
Holy! Who got away? Who was it?
Earl Williams!
Earl Williams!
Where is he?
Give me a phone.
Hello,
Give me a phone.
Hello,
Tribune. Earl Williams just broke jail. Why are you shooting, you dopes? Look out where you're aiming.
We better get out of here.
There's some phones in the state's attorney's office. Come on.
Hello, Post. Hildy Johnson. Get me Walter Burns, quick. Hello, Walter. This is Hildy.
Hi, listen, Hildy.
Shut up. Earl Williams just escaped from jail.
What?
That's all I know. Stick by the phone till you hear from me.
Hildy, if you'll cover
Yeah,
the
yeah.
yard...
Don't worry. I'm on the job.
In just a moment, Mr. DeMille and our stars Claudette Colbert, Fred MacMurray, and Jack Carson will bring you Act 2 of His Girl Friday. And now, oh, Sally. What does that remind you of?
Why, that tune always makes me think of the old South, of dashing young officers courting charming little Southern belles. It makes me think of magnolia trees and crinolines and organdy ruffles and, well, Scarlett O'Hara.
Good. And this tune, Sally.
Oh, everybody thinks of Lux toilet soap when they hear that, Mr. Ruick. Yes, Lux toilet soap.
Right. And now, if you add those two tunes together, it reminds you that the makers of Lux toilet soap have captured the charm of the Old South for you in their exquisite Scarlett O'Hara brooch. The brooch is a lovely simulated cameo designed after one worn by Vivian Leigh in Gone with the Wind. The piece consists of a pure white head in classic profile against a glistening ebony background. It's the sort of brooch every woman longs to own and would be more than proud to wear, because the brooch is truly beautiful, and it's expensive looking, too, with its distinctive gold-finished setting. It has every single detail. It has so many touches that make for beauty and quality, including a safety clasp.
Well, don't forget to tell everyone how easy it is to get one of those brooches, Mr. Ruick.
Yes, Sally, thanks. It's as easy as falling in love with the lovely Lux toilet soap complexion. Now, here's all you do. Just go to your dealer, buy 3 cakes of gentle white Lux toilet soap, and ask him for an order blank. Or write your name and address on a piece of paper and send it with the 3 Lux toilet soap wrappers and 15 cents in coins, no stamps, please, to Lux Toilet Soap, Box 1, New York City. I'll repeat that. Lux Toilet Soap, Box 1, New York City. It's as easy as that. And your Scarlett O'Hara brooch will be mailed to you promptly. Only, please don't delay. With your brooch, you'll receive an illustrated order blank for handsome matching pieces to complete your Scarlett O'Hara ensemble. Ring, bracelet, pendant, earrings. All beautifully designed, all at amazing bargain prices. So get your 3 cakes of Lux toilet soap tomorrow and send the wrappers and 15 cents in coin for your Scarlett O'Hara brooch to Lux Toilet Soap, Box 1, New York City. This offer is good only in the United States. And now, our producer, Mr. DeMille.
Act 2 of His Girl Friday, starring Claudette Colbert as Hildy Johnson and Fred MacMurray as Walter Burns, with Jack Carson as Bruce Baldwin. With the maniac Earl Williams roaming free in the city, things are happening fast around the criminal courts building. The press room is deserted for the moment, when suddenly Hildy Johnson sweeps through the door and grabs the telephone.
Hello, Post. Walter Burns, right away.
Hildy?
Walter, listen. I've got the whole story on how Williams escaped, and I've got it exclusive.
Exclusive?
Yeah, that's right. And it's a pip. But it cost me $450 to tear it out of Cooley.
Oh, never mind. What's the story?
Now, just a minute. I'm telling you first, I had to give him all the money I had on me. And it wasn't exactly mine. It's Bruce's money, and I want it back.
Bruce's money? Sure, you'll get it. I swear it on my mother's grave.
All right. Wait a minute. Your mother's alive.
Oh, don't be so technical, Hildy. What's the story?
All right, here. It's the jailbreak of your dreams. Listen, this expert Egelhoff, with a profound thinker from New York, was giving Williams a final sanity test in the sheriff's office.
Yeah?
You know, sticking a lot of pins in him to get his reflexes. Yeah? Well, he decided to reenact the crime exactly as it had taken place, so as to study Williams' powers of coordination.
Uh-huh.
Of course, he had to have a gun to reenact the crime with. And who do you suppose supplied it?
Who?
Sheriff Peter B. Hartwell, B for brains.
No kidding, Hildy.
No, I'm not kidding. I'm not good enough to make this one up.
Go on.
Well, the sheriff gave his gun to the professor gave it to Earl, and Earl shot the professor in the stomach and jumped out of the window.
Hildy, this is terrific. Was Egelhofer hurt?
No, not badly. They took him to the county hospital where they're awfully afraid he'll recover.
Oh, that's great work, Hildy.
Yeah. Now, what about my $450?
You'll get it in 15 minutes.
I'd better get it in 15 minutes.
Listen, Hildy, have I ever lied to you? I tell you, you'll have that dough right away. Louis right here in the office, and I'll send him over to the press room with it.
All right, Walter. I'll trust you once more, but don't fail me, will you? Bruce is waiting downstairs in a taxi.
Oh, he is? Wait a minute, Hildy. Hey, Louis. Louis, come here.
Yeah, boss.
Is that bangle dame outside?
You mean that blonde babe? Yeah.
Get her in here.
Walter, listen.
Just a minute, Hildy. Be right with you.
Here she is, boss.
Hiya, Walter.
Come here. Now get this straight. There's a guy waiting in a taxi in front of the criminal courts building. His name is Bruce Baldwin. Get over there right away.
You want me to go into my act?
Yeah, can you handle him?
I never flopped on you yet, have I?
All right, beat it. You've only got 10 minutes.
Hey, Walter, I'm still on here.
Okay, Hildy. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Walter, about that $450.
I know. Hold on a minute. Hey, Louis, I need $450 in counterfeit money.
$450?
Yeah, in counterfeit. Can you get it for me?
I got that much right here in my pocket.
Well, that's a coincidence. Take it over to Hildy.
Do you want I should tell her it's phony?
No, you dope. Just give it to her.
Okay.
Hello, Hildy. It's on the way.
Well, it better be. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Hildy. Oh, and Hildy, good luck on your honeymoon, honey.
Press room. Yeah. Wait a minute. Hey, Hildy Johnson.
Right here. Thanks. Hello?
Hello, Hildy?
Bruce, I thought you were waiting in the taxi.
Hildy, something awful has happened.
What?
Hildy, listen. I'm in jail again.
Oh, for the love of... What for?
Well, they called it mashing.
Oh, you didn't, did you?
Oh, no, Hildy. I was sitting right in the taxi right where you left me, and the young lady seemed to have a dizzy spell. And...
Well, was she a blonde?
Yeah, she's a blonde, very blonde.
Oh,
And
never mind. I know what happened. Bruce, where are you?
the 26th precinct.
All right, I'll get you out as soon as I can. Goodbye.
Anything I can do, Hildy?
Yeah, you can stab Walter Burns in the back for me, that dirty double. Oh. Listen, I've got to bail somebody out again. How much money have you got?
$1.80.
Andy, how about you?
64 cents.
Oh, thanks. You can buy an annuity.
Hey, Hildy looks sore again. Press room, McHugh speaking. No, I can't get an official statement yet. Hey, boys, here's the mayor. Wait a minute. The mayor just walked in. I'll call you back. What do you say, Mayor? How about a statement? Come on, Mayor. Get out.
Quiet, please. Don't pester me now, boys. I've got a lot on my mind. Have you seen Sheriff Hartwell?
It's hard to tell you, Ronnie. You see, there's so many cockroaches around here.
Now, wait a minute. What about that statement, John?
Sure, we go to press in 20 minutes.
Boys.
Give us a statement on the election.
Yeah, what effect is all this going to have on the voters?
None whatsoever. How can an unavoidable misfortune like this have any influence on the upright citizens of our fair city?
Baloney.
Excuse me, boys. This is Honor here. Where's the mayor?
Hi, Sheriff.
Here, Sheriff.
Mayor, I've been looking all over for you.
I've been looking for you. We've got to have a talk, Sheriff.
And so do we. What's the dope, Sheriff? How did Williams get out?
And what was he doing in your office, Sheriff? Where did he get the gun?
Now, wait. Just a minute, boys, and I'll tell you. I've got him located.
Oh, Williams? Where?
Out at the place he used to live on Center Street. I just got the tip.
Why didn't you say so?
The rifle squad's just going out. Well, Mayor, you wanted to see me?
I certainly did. Pete, you're through.
Through?
I mean, I'm scratching your name off the ticket Tuesday and running Sherman in your place.
Oh, now, Fred, I'm doing everything I can.
Well, it ain't enough. Do you realize there are 200,000 votes at stake, and if Earl Williams don't hang, we're going to lose him?
But we're going to hang him, Fred. He can't get away. Come in.
Excuse me. I'm looking
What do you want?
Are you Sheriff Hartwell?
I'm Hartwell. What is it?
You're a hard fellow to find, Sheriff. I have a message here from the governor.
What's from the governor?
It's a reprieve for Earl Williams.
For who?
Earl Williams, reprieve.
Pete, you said there wasn't going to be a reprieve.
Fred, please.
It frightens me to think of what I'd like to do to you.
Fred.
Shut up. You, come here.
You mean me?
Yeah. Who else was there when the governor gave you this reprieve?
Nobody. He was out fishing.
Pete, get the governor on the phone.
Oh, he's not there now. He's out duck shooting.
Fishing? Duck shooting? A guy does nothing more strenuous for 40 years than play pinochle. He gets elected governor, and right away he thinks he's Tarzan.
Look at this reprieve, Fred. Insane, he says. He knows very well that Williams isn't insane.
Well, I never
Pure
met the
politics.
man, but...
Hello? Yes, this is Hartwell. What? Where? Holy Moses. Hold the wire a minute.
Well, what is it?
They got Williams. They got him surrounded. The rifle squad has him out in his house.
Tell him to hold the wire.
Hold the wire.
Cover up that transmitter. You, come here. Now listen. You never arrived with this reprieve, get it?
Yes, I did. Don't you remember? I came in that door.
How much do you make a week?
$22.50.
How would you like to have a job for $350 a month? That's almost $100 a week.
Who, me?
Well, who do you think? Now, listen. They need a fellow like you in the city sealer's office.
In the what?
In the city sealer's office.
You mean I should work in the city?
Yes.
Oh, my wife wouldn't like that.
Well, why not?
Well, you see, my wife lives with my family in the country.
Well, that's all right. Just bring her here. We'll pay all your expenses.
Oh, this puts me in a peculiar position.
No, it doesn't. Now, remember, you never delivered this reprieve. You got caught in traffic or something. Now, get out of here and don't let anybody see you.
Yes, but how do
Come
I
in
know?
and see me in my office tomorrow. No, by the way, what's your name?
Pettibone. What's yours?
Pettibone.
Really?
No. Listen. All you've got to do is to lay low and keep your mouth shut.
Well, I'm tired anyhow.
All right, now beat it.
Okay, but it's a funny thing.
Go on, beat it. Get out.
Hello? Wait a minute. What'll I tell him, Mayor?
Tell him to shoot to kill.
What?
You heard what I said.
But the reprieve...
Quiet and do as I tell you.
Hello, Olson. Shoot to kill. That's orders.
Come in.
Hiya, Hildy.
Oh, it's you double-crossing hyena. What did you and Mr. Burns pull this time?
What's the matter, Hildy?
Don't give me that innocent stuff. You had Mr. Baldwin thrown in the jug again.
Who, me?
Oh, shut up. Did you bring that money?
Oh, yeah, $400.
$450.
All right, you can't blame a guy for trying. Here, and you better give me a receipt.
I'll give you a scar.
Yeah, I got plenty of them. So long, Hildy.
So long, you rat. Hello. Hello, operator. I want to call the 26th Precinct Police Station.
Drop that phone, or I'll kill you.
Never mind, operator. Hello, Earl.
You're not going to tell anybody where I am. I got away from them. Across the roof, down the fire escape. They'll never get me.
Earl, put down that gun.
No, I won't.
No, you're not going to shoot me, Earl. I'm your friend, remember?
Yeah.
I was in your cell a little while ago. I've got to write that story about you, remember? You don't want to hurt your friends,
Don't
Earl.
you move. Maybe you're my friend, and maybe you're not. You can't trust anybody in this crazy world.
I don't blame you. If I were in your place, I wouldn't trust anybody either.
Wait a minute. Where you going?
I was just going to pull down the shade so no one will see you.
No, you're not. You're going to get somebody.
No, I wouldn't get anybody, Earl.
Yes, you will. You get him after me again. I won't let you do it.
No.
I'll kill you.
No, Earl, don't shoot!
I guess I fired all the shells.
Oh. Earl, give me that gun.
I'm awful tired.
Now, listen. Those reporters will be coming back here any minute.
I don't care. I'm not afraid to die. I was telling the fella that when he handed me the gun.
Keep quiet. Hello, Post. Walter Burns.
Waking me up in the middle of the night. Talking to me about things they don't understand.
Shut up.
I wish they'd take me back and hang me.
They will if you don't keep quiet.
Burns talking.
Walter, Hildy, something terrific's happened. You better get down here right away.
What's the matter?
I've got Earl Williams.
What?
Earl Williams right here in the press room. I've got him.
On the level?
So help me, but hurry, I need you.
Open up. Hildy, open up.
Walter.
Well, where is he?
Oh, I thought you'd never get here.
Come on in, Louis. Close that door.
Okay, boss.
I brought Louis along just in case. Now, where's Williams?
He's in the desk.
What? What desk?
The big one there. I stuck him in there and pulled down the roller.
No. Well, open it up and let's get a look at him. Hiya, Williams. Let me out of here. I can't stand it in here. Shut up. You're sitting pretty. Hey, get back in there. Who's that at the door?
I don't know.
Hildy, let me in.
Oh, for the love of Mike, it's Bruce's mother.
Hildy.
Coming.
Hildy, are you crazy? Don't let that dame in here.
I've got to. I'll get rid of her right away.
Well,
Oh, come in, Mother.
don't you mother me, playing cat and mouse with my poor boy, keeping him locked up.
Mother, I can explain
Making
that.
us miss 2 trains and you supposed to get married tomorrow.
I'll go with you in 5 minutes.
You don't have to go with me at all. Just give me Bruce's money and you can stay here forever as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, please, Mother.
Let me out of here. Shut up.
What was that?
What, lady, what?
There's a man in that desk.
Oh, don't be silly, lady. What would a man be doing in a desk?
There's something funny here.
Shut up, will you, lady?
I won't shut up. You're doing something wrong.
Mother, please.
Louis, get this dame out of here.
Oh, no, wait a minute.
Go on, Louis. Take her over to Pollock Mike.
No.
Hello, lady.
Let me alone.
My name is Louis Peluso.
Walter.
Lock her up and see that she doesn't talk to anyone on the way.
Help!
What do I tell him?
Tell him it's a case of DTs. Go on.
Let me go!
Come
Let me
on,
go!
lady. Come
Don't worry,
on.
Mother. This is only temporary. Oh, Walter, what have you done?
Come here, Hildy.
Now, let me go. I've got to go with her. I've got to get Bruce out of jail.
Get Bruce out of jail. How can you worry about a man who's resting in a nice, quiet police station when this is going on? Hildy, this is war. You can't desert me now.
Oh, get off that trapeze. You've got your story right over there in the desk. Go on, smear it all over the front page. Earl Williams captured by the Morning Post. But I'm getting out.
Oh, you drooling idiot. What do you mean you're getting out? There are 365 days in the year you can get married, but how many times have you got a murderer locked up in a desk? Once in a lifetime. Hildy, you got the whole city by the seat of its pants.
Oh, sure, I know.
You know. You've got the brains of a pancake. That wasn't a story you covered. It was a revolution. This is the greatest yarn in journalism since Livingston discovered Stanley.
It's the other way around.
Oh, don't get technical. You realize what you've done? You've taken a city that's been graft-ridden for 40 years under the same old gang, and with one yarn, you're kicking them out.
What?
Sure. We'll make such monkeys out of these ward healers next Tuesday that nobody will vote for them. Not even their own wives.
I get it.
You've kicked over the whole city hall like an apple cart. You put one administration out and the other one in. This isn't just a newspaper story, Hildy. It's a career.
Oh, Walter, I never figured it that way.
Oh, you're still a doll-faced hick, that's why.
We'll be the white-haired boys,
Well,
won't we?
sure. Well, Hildy, they'll be naming streets after you. Hildy Johnson Street. There'll be statues of you in the parks. By tomorrow morning, I'll bet you there's a Hildy Johnson cigar. I can see the billboards now. Light up with a Hildy Johnson.
Oh, all right, Walter. Stop acting. We have a lot of work to do.
So now you're talking.
What are you going to do with Williams?
Or we'll take him over to my private office. Where's our phone?
That one over there. Oh, Walter, how are you going to take him out? They'll see him.
We'll carry the desk over. Hello?
You can't move the desk. It's crawling with cops outside.
Well, we'll lower it out the window with pulleys. Now quit stalling. Come on, start pounding out a lead.
How much do you want on it?
All the words you got. Hello, give me Duffy.
Walter, can I call the mayor a bird of prey?
Call him anything you like. Hello, Duffy. Get set. We've got the biggest story of the year. Earl Williams captured by the Morning Post. Exclusive. Yeah. Hildy.
Oh, Bruce.
Hey, wait a minute, Duffy. What do you want here, Bruce?
I came to see Hildy.
Bruce, I'm awfully busy.
Hildy, I just want you to ask you one question.
How did you get out of jail?
Not through any help of yours.
Hey, listen, will you get out of here?
Bruce, I'll explain the whole thing later.
Where's Mama? She said she was coming up here.
Well, she left.
Oh, where did Mama go?
Oh, I don't know. Out someplace.
Well, I don't understand. Did she get the money?
No. She left in a hurry. The money's right there in my purse. Now, Bruce, $450 right there. Take it.
Hildy, I'm taking the 9 o'clock train.
Oh, let her alone, will you, buddy?
Bruce, please.
I just wanted you to answer one question. You don't want to come with me, do you?
Oh, Bruce.
Answer me, Hildy. You don't want to, do you?
Now, look here, my good man.
You shut up, Burns. You're doing all this to her. She wanted to get away from you and everything you stand for. Hildy, are you going to give up everything for a man like this?
No, I'm not, but something's happened, Bruce. Wait till I tell you.
You tell him nothing. He's a spy.
I'm not a spy.
Hello.
Hildy, you're coming with me right now.
Oh, no, Bruce, give me just a second. Can't you see? This is the biggest thing in my life.
Oh, I see what you are now. You're just like Walter Burns and all the rest.
Sure, that's what I am.
Well, I'm glad I found out in time. I'm leaving, Hildy.
Hello, Duffy. Get hold of Butcher Connor.
Well, if you change your mind, I'm leaving on the 9 o'clock train.
Well, where is he?
Wait, Bruce, listen. If you want me, take me as I am instead of trying to turn me into a housewife. I'm not a suburban bridge player. I'm a newspaper man.
That's all I wanted to know. Goodbye, Hildy.
Hildy, have you got that lead?
Have I? Boy, take a look at this. It's terrific.
In just a moment, Mr. DeMille and our stars, Claudette Colbert, Fred MacMurray, and Jack Carson, will bring you Act 3 of His Girl Friday. And now we have an opportunity to take a look at the fall styles through the eyes of an expert, Miss Colma Flake, Western fashion editor of the famous publication Motion Picture Magazine. As a mere man, Miss Flake, I won't presume to ask you specific questions on a subject that I know nothing about. So won't you go right ahead and give us a few highlights on current fashions?
Well, Mr. Ruick, there are several important differences between this and last year's silhouettes. While skirts are slimmer and straighter, side drapery is used on some costumes, but only to accent the essential lines of the skirt. In other words, simplicity of line and careful cutting of the fabric are most important. Woolen dresses in soft colors are high style. Many of them are to be worn with short fur jackets. The color of the dress to blend with the fur. By the way, Barbara Stanwyck has such a costume in lovely beige and brown tones. Most women will be glad to hear that satin hats draped close to the head are in style. Worn with a woolen dress, they give that sophisticated look we all love. Paulette Goddard has ordered one in a stunning new light shade of brown. Black, of course, is more popular than ever. There's an effective richness in many of the black costumes shown. This is achieved by touches of unexpected colors, especially olive, slate blue, or dull gold. The effect is made more striking by a single piece of handsome jewelry. If you have an heirloom piece in gold and black enamel, by all means wear it. Personally, I certainly congratulate you, Mr. Ruick, on offering this beautiful Scarlett O'Hara brooch at this time. It's just the thing from a style point of view as well as lovely in itself. The pure white of the simulated cameo against the glistening ebony background is very striking, and the gold finish setting is very rich looking. It's quite perfect at the neckline of a black dress or with one of the dark greens or soft blues so popular right now. To sum up, styles will be simple and rich and distinguished looking this fall, and handsome jewelry pieces like this will be just the thing to complete the effect of simplicity and richness.
Thank you, Miss Flake. Again, as a mere man, let me say that I'm glad those little satin hats are back again. I like them. And now let me tell all of you just once more how easy it is to get one of these handsome, simulated cameo brooches of the same design worn by Vivian Lee as Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind. Just get an order blank from your dealer, or write your name and address on a piece of paper and mail it together with the wrappers from 3 cakes of Lux toilet soap and 15 cents in coin, no stamps, please, to Lux Toilet Soap, Box 1, New York City. You'll be thrilled and delighted with the beauty and the fine craftsmanship of your Scarlett O'Hara brooch. With your brooch, you'll receive an illustrated order blank telling you how to get additional matching pieces to complete your Scarlett O'Hara ensemble. You can have a ring, bracelet, pendant, earrings, all of the same lovely Scarlett O'Hara design, and all at amazing bargain prices. So don't delay. Send 3 wrappers and 15 cents in coin to Box 1, New York City, for your Scarlett O'Hara brooch tomorrow. Remember the address: Lux Toilet Soap, Box 1, New York City. This offer is good only in the United States. We pause now for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The curtain rises on the third act of His Girl Friday. A few more whirlwind minutes have passed, and the convict Earl Williams is still safe and sound in the roll-top desk. Hildy still types furiously to finish the story for the late edition, and Walter is still on the phone.
Listen, Duffy, did you tell Butch to take a taxi, that every minute counts? Well, who's he bringing with him? All right, stay near the phone. Butch is on his way over with 4 mugs. He's going to help us move out the desk. All we got to do is hold out for 15 minutes.
The boys will be back. They'll be coming in here to phone.
Hey, Williams, are you all right in there?
Knock on the desk.
Hey, listen, Williams. I'm going to knock 3 times. That's our signal, see? You get it? Answer with 3 knocks if you're okay. Atta, baby. 3 knocks is me, now don't forget. You got enough air? Ah, good boy. Well, come on, Hildy. Tear into it. Don't sit there like a frozen robin.
I just thought of something. You've messed up my whole life. Do you know that? Bruce is gone. His mother... What am I going to do?
Oh, finish the story, Hildy. Duffy's waiting.
I'd have been on that train by now.
Come on, Hildy.
Oh, what a sap I am falling for your line. Naming streets after me.
Well, you've had a nice rest now. Get back to work, will you? Hello, who is it?
Hey, boss, it's me. It's Louis.
Now, wait a minute. Come on in quick.
Listen, boss.
Hey, what's the matter, Louis? Where'd you get that black eye?
Boss.
Where's Mrs. Baldwin?
What'd you do with her? Where is she? You been in a fight?
Down Western Avenue we was going, 65 miles an hour. You know what I mean?
Hey, take that mush out of your mouth.
Where's the old lady?
I'm telling you, we run smack into a police patrol. You know what I mean? We busted it in half.
Oh, was she hurt?
Can you imagine bumping into a load of cops? They come rolling out like oranges.
But what did you do with her?
Search me. When I come to, I was running down 34th Street.
Oh, Butterfingers. She'd be an old dame to take somewhere, and you hand her over to the cops.
What do you mean I hand her? The cops was on the wrong side of the street.
Yeah, now everything's fine. She's probably squawking her head off in some police station.
I don't think she's squawking much. You know what I mean?
What? Oh, don't tell me. You mean she was killed?
There's an awful good chance.
Oh, my... Dad! Oh, this is the end. Oh,
no, it's fate, Hildy. What will be, will be.
But what am I going to say to Bruce? What can I tell him?
Oh, look, honey, if he really loves you, you won't have to tell him anything.
Oh, I killed her. I'm responsible. Oh, what am I going to do? How can I ever face him again?
Look at me, Hildy.
I'm looking at you, you murderer.
Oh, now, if it was my own mother, I'd carry on. You know I would for the paper.
Louis, where did it happen?
Western and 34th.
I'm going out.
Hey, we can do more right here. Now, be calm.
Be calm? How can I?
Hey, listen.
Boss, it's the sheriff.
Yeah, and the reporters from every sheet in town. Now we're in a sweet spot.
Spot or no spot, I'm leaving.
Don't open that door, Hildy.
Just a minute, Johnson.
Let me alone.
Don't let her get away, Sheriff.
Take your hands off
Hold her, boys.
Hey, just a minute, Sheriff. Who do you think you are breaking in here like this?
You can't bluff me, Burns. I don't care who you are or what paper you're editor
Let
of.
me go, fellas. Something's happened to Mrs. Baldwin.
Hang on to her.
Hey, what's the idea?
I'll tell you what the idea is. One of the prisoners was looking out of the jail window about an hour ago, and he saw a man come down the fire escape and into this window. That man was Earl Williams.
What are you doing, Hildy? Hiding him for a scoop? Come on.
I don't know anything about it. Let me out of here.
She knows plenty. Come on, Sheriff. Give her the 3rd degree.
Where is he, Johnson? Where you got him?
You're barking up the wrong tree, Sheriff.
I'll give you 3 minutes to tell me where he is. Come on, where is he?
All right. He went over to the hospital to call on Professor Egelhofer.
What?
Yeah, with a big bag of marshmallows.
Here, lady, is this the place?
Yes, it's the police officer.
Mother, I'm so glad to see you. Are you all right?
That's the man officer right there.
What's the idea here?
This lady claims she was kidnapped, Sheriff.
What?
They dragged me all the way down the stairs and put me in a taxicab.
Just a minute. Did this man here have anything to do with it?
Now, listen,
Why, he was the one in charge of the whole thing. He told them to kidnap me.
Excuse me, madam. Are you referring to me?
You know you did.
What about this, Burns? Kidnapping, huh?
Oh, trying to frame me, eh? I never saw this woman before in my life.
Oh, what a thing to say.
Now, look here, madam. Be honest. If you were out joyriding, plastered, and getting into some scrape, why don't you admit it? Instead of accusing innocent people.
Oh, you ruffian. How dare you talk like that to me?
He's just a little crazy, Mother.
I'll tell you something more.
Yes?
I'll tell you why he did it.
Go on, madam.
I was in here, and they had someone with them. They were hiding him.
Hiding him? In here?
Yes.
Madam, that's a barefaced lie.
What was that?
Burns just banged on that desk.
Yeah, but someone banged back.
There's somebody in that desk.
Earl Williams. It's Earl Williams. He's in the desk.
Stand back, you men. Come out, Williams. Come out, do you hear? We've got you covered. Open that desk.
All right. You got me. Now go ahead. Shoot me.
Grab him. Grab that man. I got him, Sheriff. Take him down to the jail and swear out a warrant for the arrest of Walter Burns and Hildy Johnson. Sheriff Hartwell speaking. Oh, yes, Prostowski. Come over to the press room as soon as you can. The mayor and I are holding a couple of important birds. We want you to take their confessions. Shake it up. Be over in 10 minutes, Mayor.
Fine work, Pete. Fine work. You certainly delivered the goods. I'm proud of you.
Look kind of natural with handcuffs on, don't they, Fred?
A sight for sore eyes.
Aiding an escaped criminal and a little charge of kidnapping.
Looks like about 10 years apiece for you, Words.
Does it?
Anytime you think you can lick the Morning Post, it's time for you to get out of town.
Oh, your luck's not with you now. It isn't going to help you this time. You're through.
Listen, the last man who said that to me cut his throat a week later.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah. We've been in worse jams than this, haven't we, Hildy?
Nope.
You forget the power that always watches over the Morning Post.
Well, it's not with you now.
Yeah, you're going to be in office about 2 days more.
Yeah, and then we're pulling your nose right out of the feed bag.
Oh, the power of the press.
Listen, bigger men than you have found out what the power of the press is. Presidents and kings.
Hello, Sheriff.
Oh, get out of here.
You remember me? My name is Pettibone.
Get out.
Here's your reprieve, Sheriff.
Did you hear me? Beat it.
You can't bribe me. Now, my wife says...
Hey, what is this?
Get out of here.
No, I won't. Here's your reprieve. I don't want to be a city sealer.
Pete, who is this man?
Well, I don't know, Fred. Get out.
Just a minute. Who was trying to bribe you?
They wouldn't take the reprieve.
What did I tell you? An unseen power.
Why, the man's insane.
Frame up.
Trying to hang an innocent man to win an election,
That's
huh?
a lie.
I never saw him before.
Say, you. What's your name?
Pettibone. Joe Pettibone. What's yours?
When did you deliver this reprieve, Pettibone?
Who did you talk to?
They started right in bribing me.
Who's they?
Them. Those two men.
Why, that's absurd on the face of it. He's talking like a child.
Out of the mouths of babes.
Why, he's insane or drunk or something. Why, if this unfortunate man, Williams, has really been reprieved, I personally am tickled to death. Aren't you, Pete?
Oh, sure. You'd hang your own mother to be reelected.
That's a horrible thing to say about anybody, Miss Johnson.
Well, never mind that now. Let's have your story, Mr. Pettibone.
Well, 19 years ago, I married Mrs. Pettibone.
Yes, well, you can skip all that.
Sheriff, this reprieve is authentic. Our Commonwealth has been spared the painful necessity of shedding blood.
Oh, get down off of the soapbox. Save that for the Tribune.
Pete, take those handcuffs off my friend.
I was just going to.
Well, hurry up. I'm amazed at you doing a thing like that.
Well, I was only doing my duty. Nothing personal in it.
No, of course not. Of course not.
What did you say your name was?
Pettibone. Here's a picture of my wife.
Oh, yes, a very fine-looking woman.
She's good enough for me. But if my wife heard that
I understand that perfectly, Mr. Pettibone. And as long as I am mayor...
Which ought to be about 3 hours more, I'd say.
Just long enough for us to put out a special edition asking for your recall.
And your arrest. You know, you little boys ought to get about 10 years apiece, I think.
Now, I wouldn't make any hasty decisions, Mr. Burns. You might run into a thumping big libel suit.
You're going to run into the governor.
Well, my old friend, the governor, and I understand each other perfectly.
Yes, and so do I.
So do you what you who do. And now, Mr. Pettibone, if you'll come with us, we'll take you over to the warden's office and deliver this reprieve. Come along, Pettibone. So long, Walter.
So long, you crook.
Right this way.
Wait until those two future jailbirds read the Morning Post tomorrow.
That was a tight squeeze.
Hello, give me Duffy.
That was the worst jam we've been in a long time.
Yeah. What? Well, where is he? Well, get him.
You remember the time we stole old Lady Haggerty's stomach off the coroner's physician?
Yeah.
We proved she'd been poisoned.
Yeah.
We had to hide out for a week. Do you remember that? The Shoreland Hotel. That's how we happened
Yeah, don't forget, we could have gone to jail for that, too. You know that.
Yeah, I guess we could.
Yeah. You know, maybe you're right, Hildy. It's a bad business. You're better off out of it. You better get going.
Where'll I go?
To Bruce, of course.
Well, you know he's gone. He took the 9 o'clock train.
Well, just send him a wire and get on that train. He'll be waiting for you at the station when you get to Albany. Get going, Hildy.
Get going, Hildy. What is that with you?
Can't you understand? I'm doing something noble for once in my life. Now, go on, get out of here before I change my mind.
Walter, listen.
Go on, it's tough enough now.
Just a minute.
Go on, send the fellow a wire. He'll be waiting when you get there.
Oh, I get it. The same old act, isn't it? Trying to push me out of here, figuring that I'll be stupid enough to want to stay.
I know I deserve that, Hildy. Hello. Oh, wait a minute, Duffy. But this time you're wrong, Hildy. I made fun of Bruce and Albany and all that sort of thing. You know why?
Why?
Because I was jealous of him. Because I was sore at him for offering you the sort of life that I can't give you. That's what you want, isn't it?
Well, I could stay and do the story and take the train in the morning.
No. Forget it. Goodbye, dear, and good luck. Oh, hold on a second, Duffy.
I'll answer that. Hello, Hildy Johnson.
Hildy, this is Bruce.
Bruce?
Hildy, something awful has happened.
Oh, Bruce, not again. What jail are you in?
The 24th precinct.
But what for?
We're trying to pass counterfeit money.
What do you mean, counterfeit money? Where did you get it?
You gave it to me.
I did. Oh.
Hildy, I've got to get out of here.
Oh. Okay, I'll fix it up somehow.
Hey, Duffy, hang on.
Oh.
No, honey, don't cry, please. I didn't mean to make you cry. You never cried before.
I thought you were really sending me away to Bruce. I didn't know you had him locked up. I thought you were going to stand by and let me go off with Bruce and not do a thing about it.
Oh, go on. What did you think? I wasn't a chump.
I thought you didn't love me.
Well, what were you thinking with?
I don't know. Well, what are you standing there gawking for? We have to get him out of jail. Send Louis down and give him some honest money so he can go back to Albany where he belongs.
Sure. Hey, Duffy, tell Louis to stand by. Yeah, we're coming over to the office. No, don't worry about the story. Hildy's going to write it. No, she's not quitting. She never intended to. We're going to get married.
Can we go on a honeymoon this time, Walter?
Sure, honey. Hey, Duffy, you can be managing editor. No, not permanently, just for a couple of weeks while we're on our honeymoon.
Oh, Walter.
I don't know where we're going. Hey, Hildy, where are we going?
Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls, Duffy.
A whole 2 weeks, Walter?
What? I can't hear you, Duffy. Strike? What strike? In Albany? Oh, I can't ask Hildy to spend...
We'll spend our honeymoon in Albany.
Okay, Duffy. Well, isn't that a coincidence? Come on, Hildy, we've got to go to Albany. Say, I wonder if Bruce can put us up.
The curtain falls, and whatever the future of Hildy and her boss, I imagine it won't be dull. Now Claudette Colbert and Fred MacMurray return to the microphone.
Well, it seems a little quiet here, CB.
No guns, no telephones, no sirens. How can you stand it, Fred?
If I ever acquire a newspaper, you two are hired. And instead of seeing a picture or listening to the radio for entertainment, I'll just go down to the office.
I wouldn't count too much on the profit, CB. Funny thing, though, the last time I played one of these reporter parts, it was in a picture with Claudette, the Gilded Lily.
And they tell me that Claudette, as a foreign correspondent, has a very sharp eye for news in Arise, My Love, that you just finished for Paramount.
Well, CB, this may not be news, but I have enjoyed coming back to the Lux Radio Theater. And I'm still a staunch supporter of Lux Soap. I think it's a grand complexion care, and I use it all the time. But it's possible you've heard me say that before.
That's something we can't hear too often about Lux Soap, Claudette, because we know it's true, and because it comes from you.
What's the prospect for next week, CB?
The prospect for next Monday, Fred, well, we're flying high. Our play is Wings of the Navy, and our stars are George Brent, Olivia de Havilland, and John Payne. It's an exciting drama of adventure in the air and romance on the ground. A story of heroism and sacrifice, with George Brent and John Payne as aviators, and Olivia de Havilland as the girl they both love.
I remember the picture, CB, and I know you'll have a thrilling play next Monday night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. And in the words of one W. Winter, orchids to both of you. Our sponsors, the makers of Lux Toilet Soap, join me in inviting you to be with us again next Monday night when the Lux Radio Theater presents George Brent, Olivia de Havilland, and John Payne in Wings of the Navy, This is Cecil B. DeMille saying good night to you from Hollywood.
Heard in tonight's play were Arthur Q. Bryan as sheriff, Edward Marr as Louis, Lou Merrill as mayor, Chester Clute as Pettibone, Warren Ash as McHugh, Charles Seal as Murphy, Edwin Max as Endicott, Verna Felton as Mrs. Baldwin, Tony Hughes as Earl Williams, Sherman Nichols as Duffy, and Catherine Keyes and Hal Gerard. Fred MacMurray is currently appearing on the screen in the Paramount picture Rangers of Fortune. Jack Carson is featured in the RKO picture Lucky Partners. His Girl Friday was based on The Front Page by Ben Hecht and Charles MacArthur. The Scarlett O'Hara brooch, offered you by the makers of Lux Toilet Soap, is designed after one worn by Vivian Lee in Gone with the Wind, the Selznick International picture, produced by David O. Selznick and released by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. Our music is directed by Louis Silvers, and your announcer has been Melville Ruick. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
J-E-L-L-O. The Jell-O program, brought to you by Jell-O and Jell-O Pudding, starring Jack Benny, with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, Rochester, and yours truly, Don Wilson. The orchestra opens the program with Captains of the Clouds.
Better than ever. Yes, today, friends, Jell-O is better than ever. Richer and more delicious than it's ever tasted before. Because now Jell-O's grand flavor is locked in. It's locked right into Jell-O's tiny particles to give you extra delight and a new high in dessert enjoyment. That same Jell-O goodness is there that you've always loved. That same intriguing taste that always reminds you so delightfully of the juicy ripe fruit itself, but richer, more vivid than you've ever known it. For this new Jell-O process locks in the magic of Jell-O's marvelous flavor. Prove it for yourself. Open a package of Jell-O. Notice that there's no sweet, fruity odor, no telltale aroma to warn of escaping flavor. Then dissolve the Jell-O and notice how its tangy, tantalizing flavor comes gushing out. Deliciously rich, thrillingly good. So ask your grocer tomorrow for several packages of Jell-O. Now that Jell-O's swell flavor is actually locked in, it's better than ever.
Captains of the Clouds, played by the orchestra. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as is my custom every Sunday night at this time, I bring you a man who...
Hold it a second, Don. Jack isn't here yet.
He isn't?
No, he's been wandering around in a daze ever since last Thursday.
Why? What happened Thursday?
That's when they had the Academy Award banquet, and boy, was Jack disappointed.
You mean to say that Jack actually expected to win the award for Best Actor?
Yeah. He even sold that stuffed owl on his mantle so he'd have room for the statue. Imagine.
So he's still pretty upset about losing, huh?
I'll say he is. I was in the drugstore just now, and Mr. Benny was dunking donuts in his coffee.
Well, what's dunking got to do with being upset?
He was splashing people all around him. See this brown suit I got on?
Yeah?
Well, it was gray tweed when I went in.
Well, personally, I can see no excuse for Jack being so mad. You'd think that... Uh-oh. Quiet, fellas. Here he comes.
Well. Hello, everybody.
Sorry I'm late, Don.
Well, for heaven's sake, why so cheerful all of a sudden?
Why shouldn't I be cheerful? It's a lovely day, the sun is shining, birds are singing.
Are you sure that was coffee you were drinking?
I get it. So you had to tell him about the coffee I splashed on you, eh, Dennis?
Well, gee whiz, my suit is all wet.
Your suit will dry out.
It may dry out, but it will never be gray again.
All right, brown suits are coming back. Well, let's get started with the program, shall we, Dunsey?
Okay, Jack. But first, I'd like to say right now that you're a darn good loser.
You mean about the Academy Award? Well, I will admit I was a little perturbed at first, but I've got it all figured out, Don. I didn't lose. I was merely an unfortunate victim of circumstance.
I don't get it.
Me neither.
Well, look, kids. The picture I should have gotten the award on is Charlie's aunt. Is that right?
Yes, but...
Let me finish, Mary. Now, if you remember, in Charlie's aunt, I played the part of a man, and I also played a part of a woman. And I was exceptionally good in both roles.
Well, for heaven's sake, what's that got to do with your not winning the Academy Award?
Simply this, the voters were baffled. They didn't know whether to elect me Best Actor or Best Actress. That's very logical.
Then you're not jealous because Gary Cooper won.
No, and I'm not jealous of Joan Fontaine either. But I must say that I had them both worried there for a while. They're very good friends of mine, too.
So you're not jealous of Cooper, eh?
Not a bit.
Tell him what happened at the banquet Thursday night.
Never mind.
What was it, Mary?
Well, all evening, Jack kept smiling at everybody and bowing and pointing to the speech in his pocket.
Is that so?
Anyhow, when they announced that Gary Cooper was the winner, Jack jumped up and yelled, "Nobody leave the room. We're going to do this over."
Well, you know how excitable I am. Anyway, I was the first one to congratulate Gary Cooper. I went right over and put my arm around his shoulder.
You're telling me I had to boost you up.
I could have made it alone, sister. Anyhow, I'm glad he won. Gary and I are pals.
Pals? After that silly rumor you started about him?
What silly rumor?
He's much too tall to be a Jap, and you know it.
I never called him a Jap. I said he was a chap. A full-blooded chap. If I don't talk plain, that's his worry. Now, let me tell you another thing.
Holy smoke, get this.
What's the matter, Dennis?
I think my suit is shrinking.
You could be growing. Keep still. Forget it.
No, sir, my suit is shrinking.
So what? It's shrinking. Your sleeves were too long anyway.
I know, but my elbows are getting cold.
Dennis, what goes up has got to come down. Don't worry. Now, where was I?
We were discussing the Academy Award, Jack.
Oh, yes. Now, let's get this straight, fellas. I don't begrudge Gary Cooper getting recognition for Best Actor, but I still think I'm the most versatile. Jeepers, I can do anything. A man, a woman, do comedy, drama. I can play hokum. I can play Shakespeare.
You can sell Christmas cards.
That's seasonal. Now, take me as Hamlet. To be or not to be? That is the question.
Boy, this suit is cheap material.
Well, I can see I'm wasting my talent around here. Dennis, as long as you had to open your mouth, how about leaving it open and doing your song?
Okay.
Hold it a minute. Come in.
Telegram for Jack Benny.
Take it, Mary. Here's a tip for you, Bud. A brand new defense stamp. Here you are.
Thanks. Just paste it on my head.
Okay. There's an album if I ever saw one. Now, scram. Who's the wire from, Mary?
It's from your father. He says, "My dear son, congratulations on the Academy Award. You didn't do it before, and you didn't do it again."
Good old Dad. He'd have voted for me. Sing, Dennis, before your suit strangles you, will you?
My
that trembles on the brink of a lovely song. You are the angel glow that lights a star. The dearest things I know are what you are. Each time our lips touch again, I yearn for you so much again. You're my favorite star, my haven in heaven above. You are everything I
Very good. Very good. That was Everything I Love, sung by Dennis Day. Everything I Love. There's a beautiful idea for a song.
Yeah, sure is.
Yes, sir. It's so sentimental. Everything I Love. What do you love, Dennis?
Apple pie and Hedy Lamar. Ice cream on the pie.
All right, ice cream on it. That's a marvelous title, though. Everything I Love. You know, a song like that...
Tutti Frutti.
Forget the ice cream. I'm talking about sentiment. Oh, Don.
Yes, Jack.
Don, let me ask you something. What do you love?
Well, I love my little ranch out in the valley. Just a simple, unpretentious.
I know. What else do you love, Don?
Well, I love the little woman. Every morning when I come downstairs, she greets me with a cheery smile and a breakfast of piping hot wheat cakes.
Wheat cakes, eh? Don, what else do you love?
Well, let's see. Oh, yes.
It's about time.
I love my St. Bernard dog, Jumbo, we call
I
him.
don't care what you call him. Don, are you going to tell us the thing you love that made me start this whole business? Or do I have to lock you in?
Oh, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I love Jell-O with its new locked-in flavor.
Bingo.
Jell-O is not only economical and easy to make, but it's America's favorite gelatin dessert. So look for the big red letters on the box. I thank you.
Well, certainly glad you finally thought of it, Don. And wait till the sponsor finds out that you love your wife and home before Jell-O. You better watch out, Bub.
I'm sorry, Jack. I'll never go home again.
Oh, you don't have to go that far, Don, but watch it, that's all. Oh, hello, Phil.
Hiya, Jackson. How's the old gent with the gray hair?
Oh, fine. I saw Frank Morgan at the fights the other night. And, he looks swell.
Phil means you.
I know who he means. I'll tell Frank you asked about him, Phil.
Okay, I can go along with the gag.
You better, brother. You know, Phil, when you...
Hey, get a load of the kid. Where'd you get them knee pants, Dennis?
I splashed coffee on him. It's a long story. Forget it.
Oh, say, Jackson, I hate to mention it, but that's a pretty tough break you got the other night.
What tough break?
You know, not winning the Academy Reward.
Reward? If you're talking about the award, Phil, in my opinion... Hey, what's that?
Well, there goes my coat buttons.
Dennis, don't worry about your suit. When you get home tonight, throw it away and I'll buy you another one. Phil, getting back to the Academy Reward, as you so quaintly put it, I am a little bit disappointed, but those things happen. I thought I had friends, but apparently they didn't vote for me.
You're right, Jackson. And there's an old French proverb that fits that to a T. It goes, "En y soit qui mal y pense."
Well, that proverb sounds familiar. What does it mean, Phil?
Evil to him who says you stink.
That's evil to him who evil thinks. No one said I Molly Ponce. They just didn't vote for him. That's all. Anyway, it didn't bother me. I can take it.
It didn't bother you, eh?
Not a bit.
Well, then why did you try to kill yourself Friday morning?
I tried to kill myself.
What happened, Mary?
Now, listen.
Jack went out in the garage, closed the doors, got in the Maxwell,
Oh.
put a rubber hose on the exhaust pipe, the other end in his mouth,
Mary.
turned on the ignition, stepped on the starter, the car was out of gas, and here he is.
Mary, that wasn't me in the garage, so don't make up things.
Well, Jack, I don't blame you for being broken-hearted. After all these years of hard work, you should have won that award.
Darn right I should. I'd have won it, too, if it hadn't been for a... Dennis.
Should I get a barrel, Mr. Benny?
No, pull him up. And I'll tell you something, Phil. I'd have won that award if it hadn't been for politics. I'm as good an actor as Gary Cooper any day.
What?
You're as good an actor as Gary Cooper. Yes, only he's taller than I am. That's why Jimmy Stewart won it the year before. They're both taller than I am.
What about the time Spencer Tracy won it?
He's shorter than I am. Well, I'm 5'9". So is Paul Muni.
Yes, and they gave him the award, brother.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. Oh, yeah? Oh, nuts. I'm going home.
Wow, that Jackson is really burned up, isn't he? Yeah, he takes everything so seriously.
What does he want? Every year at this time, he puts that hose in his mouth. What a guy.
Well, Phil, I guess you might as well play something.
Okay. I forgot my streetcar transfer. Oh, here it is. So long. Can't understand it. How they could overlook me for the award after that magnificent... Oh, well. I don't mind Gary Cooper winning, but... Now, where's that Rochester?
Oh, hello, boss. Ain't you home kind of early?
Yes, I am. I'm a little upset, and I... Rochester, what have you got in that cocktail glass?
Some water. I was thirsty, boss.
Water? With an olive in it?
I was hungry, too.
Don't kid me. That's a dry martini. Rochester, is your girl here by any chance?
My girl? No, sir.
Well, was she here?
That ain't Ivy climbing over the back fence.
I thought so. Well, I'm not going to boil you out tonight. I'm too exhausted. I'm going upstairs to bed. I'm all in.
Oh, say, boss, the man from the exterminator company was here.
Oh. Did he find that mouse?
Yes, sir, and it sure was a big one. Put in an awful fight.
Oh. Well, where's the man now?
He went out to get another man.
Holy smoke, it must be a big one. Wonder if Frank Buck is in town. He could catch that mouse.
I'd catch it myself if you only let me put a piece of cheese in the trap.
No, there must be some other way.
Sure be glad to get to bed. Here, hang this up, Rochester.
You need a new one, boss.
Just comb it out. It's okay. And don't part it in the middle like you did last night. Hand me my... Hey, what's that?
What?
There's someone under my bed. Who's that under my bed? Come on, you, speak up.
Good evening, Mr. Benny. Home a little early, I see.
Oh, it's Mr. Billingsley. Now, come out from under my bed, Mr. Billingsley. Come out.
All right, you asked for it.
Ask for what?
If I come out and see my shadow, there'll be 40 more days of winter.
Oh, my goodness, today's a groundhog. Now, Mr. Billingsley, you must go to your own room.
Very well. Good night, Mr. Benny.
Good night.
And what's wrong with that, may I ask?
Nothing. Good night, that's all. Gosh, he's so sensitive. I think I'll lie down and relax for a while, Rochester.
That Academy Award has got me all worked up.
Gary Cooper, a better actor than I am. That's justice for you.
Oh, say, boss.
Yeah?
I put gas in the Maxwell and the hose is still there. Do you want to have a go at it again tomorrow?
No.
Next year, maybe.
Rochester, take Mr. Coleman's hose back to him and thank him very much.
He don't know we got it.
Good.
Gee, I hope I'll be able to sleep. Rochester, sing something, will you? That always lulls me.
Okay, boss.
Gee, I'm just a bundle of nerves tonight.
My mama done told me when I was in knee pants, my mama done told me, son.
Gary Cooper.
A woman sweet talk and give you the big eye, but when the sweet talking's done...
Those tall guys get all the praise.
A woman's a two-faced, a worrisome thing who'll leave you to sing the blues in the night.
I think I'll get out of pictures. I didn't even get one vote.
I know I sent it in. Oh, well.
From Natchez to Mobile, from Memphis to St. Joe.
St. Joe. How they used to love me there.
And the food at the old Busy Bee lunchroom.
Wherever the four winds blow. A woman's a two-faced, a worrisome thing who'll leave you to sing the blues in the night.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 12th Annual Academy Award Banquet, and all of Hollywood's glamorous stars are gathered here in the Busy Bee Lunchroom in St. Joe, Missouri.
St. Joe. Gee, they love me here. I can't miss that award. I'm sure to win. Gosh, look at all the celebrities here. There's Wendell Willkie and Joan Fontaine and Ernst Lubitsch and the Exterminator Man. And look, there's Walter Wanger and Barbara Stanwyck and Mervyn LeRoy. Hey! Hello, Mervyn!
Hello, Leroy!
Gee, he knows me. Here at the old Busy Bee.
What'll you have, sir?
A hot roast beef sandwich with Tutti Frutti ice cream on it. Hurry, Miss Lamar.
I can't hurry. I'm caught in a mousetrap.
Gee, you're a big one. God.
Ladies and gentlemen, the votes are all in for the best actor of the year, and I'll have the results in just a second.
Gee, I'm nervous. Hey, there's Gary Cooper. He's got a pretty good chance of winning, too. Hello, Gary.
Hello, Jack. How do you like it here in Memphis?
Memphis? We're in St. Joe, aren't we?
You're in Memphis. I'm in St. Joe. You see, I'm taller than you are.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's right. Look, the master of ceremonies is getting up. It must be Bob Hope.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
That's not Hope, it's Allen. Fred Allen.
I'm very happy to be here in good old St. Joe. They love me here.
Listen to him. That Allen's a two-faced, a worrisome thing who leaves me to sing the blues in the night. I thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the votes have been counted, and I have the honor to announce that the best actor of the year is that old gent with the gray hair, Frank Morgan.
No, Benny, me. Jack Benny.
Yes, Jack Benny. And here's that gold statue for you, Jackie.
Ouch. Thanks. How can I speak with this rubber hose in my mouth? But I'll try. To be or not to be? That is the question.
Here's your hot beef sandwich, mister.
Make it a steak. I just won the award. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to sever the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of... Who's that coming? Who are you guys? Who are you?
We're the Warner Brothers, shouting like the others. Benny, our mama done told us.
The Warner Brothers? And who are you?
I am Darryl Zanuck. Jack, you are a panic. Benny, my horsey done told me.
Gee, Mr. Zanuck, all the studios want me. All of them.
From Metro to Goldwyn, from Goldwyn to Mayor, from Mayor to Paramount.
Paramount? They love me there. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't tell you how happy I am to receive this award. It is the most thrilling night I've ever had, and the most exciting evening. What's the matter? The banquet's over. Everybody's gone but Gary Cooper and me. What are you crying for, Gary?
I had my heart set on winning that award.
It's not your fault, Gary. I won it because I'm taller than you are. Look, I'm 8 feet tall.
Not only that, you're still growing.
Still growing? That's right, I am. Look at me. I'm 9 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet. Whoop, whoop, hold it. I'm tall enough, hold it. I'm going right through the roof. Ooh, my head.
Boss, wake up!
Gary, where are you?
Boss, wake up! You've been dreaming.
Dreaming?
Yeah, you got your head right through the foot of the bed.
Oh, yes. Well, pull me out. Thanks. It was a tough dream, Rochester, but I won it.
Do you need me anymore, boss?
No. Good night, Rochester.
Good night. What a man.
Well, here's a treat that just can't be beat for real downright goodness, and one that's sure to become a family favorite the first time you try it.
The name of this grand dessert is cherry cubes with pineapple, a brilliant combination of golden canned pineapple and bright crimson cherry jello. It's a dessert that fairly coaxes you to pick up a spoon and begin because it's so good-looking. And it's nothing less than a masterpiece of delicious flavor. You'll like the simple, easy way you make it, too. Just dissolve a package of Jell-O imitation cherry flavor in 1 pint of hot water and hot pineapple juice. Turn into a loaf pan and chill until firm. Then cut into cubes and pile in sherbet glasses, along with 3 slices of canned pineapple diced. And there's a dessert that's really extra special. Juicy golden nuggets of canned pineapple, temptingly blended with tiny glistening cubes of rich red cherry Jell-O. So get a package of cherry Jell-O tomorrow, and when you buy, be sure to get genuine Jell-O. It's extra rich because its flavor is locked in.
The last last number of the 22nd program in the current Jello series, and we'll be with you again next Sunday at the same time. And by then, I'm sure Jack will find something else to worry about. Good night, folks.
The parts of Fred Allen and Gary Cooper were interpreted by Peter Lind Hayes, appearing through courtesy of RKO Studios. The tune Captain of the Clouds is from the picture of the same name.
Did you know that the same folks who make Jell-O butterscotch pudding? It has a rich golden color just as tempting as can be. And what mellow delight there is in its creamy butterscotch flavor. So when you order Jell-O, order Jell-O puddings in all three flavors: chocolate, vanilla, and butterscotch. Jell-O puddings are just like Grandma's, only more so. This program came to you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
KFI, Los Angeles, the Earl C. Anthony station.
Autolite and its 98,000 dealers bring you Mr. Jack Benny in tonight's presentation of Suspense. Tonight, Autolite presents a story about a man who worked for 30 years to prepare a most unique personal retirement plan. The story is called A Good and Faithful Servant. Our star, Mr. Jack Benny.
Hello there, Harlow.
Well, the legislative luminary. How are you, Senator?
My car is giving me trouble, Harlow.
Your car? What's wrong with it, Senator?
Well, it gets going slower than a loser leaving office. It rides rougher than a tax debate and uses more gas than a 3-day filibuster.
Well, it may be spark plug trouble, Senator. Spark plugs should be checked every 3,000 to 4,000 miles, so see your nearest Autolite spark plug dealer. His exclusive Autolite plug check indicator will quickly show the exact condition of your spark plugs. If they're worn out or wrong for your style of driving, he'll recommend resistor or standard type, ignition engineered Autolite spark plugs for smoother performance, quick starts, and gas savings.
Sounds like a propitious proposal, Harlow. How do I find this Autolite spark plug dealer?
Why, just phone Western Union by number and ask for Operator 25. She'll quickly tell you the name of your nearest Autolite spark plug dealer where you can get the finest spark plug service money can buy. And remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite. And now, with the performance of Mr. Jack Benny, Autolite presents transcribed A Good and Faithful Servant, hoping once again to keep you in suspense.
I know you've been through a lot, Mr. Fenton, but if you could just try to recall anything else about the appearance of the two men.
Lieutenant, couldn't this wait? Fenton has spent 14 horrible hours locked in a vault. And while I admire his spirit and pluck in bearing up as well as he has...
I'm just trying to get something to go on, Mr. Waterman. Do you want your money back or don't you?
The welfare of my employees comes first, Lieutenant. First, last, and always.
And you're insured. Mr. Fenton.
Don't answer if you don't feel up to it, Fenton.
I don't mind, Mr. Waterman. I'm anxious to cooperate. Now, as near as I can remember...
Be sure you get this, Florence.
As near as I can remember... Of course, I had only a flash before they forced me into the vault.
Yeah, we understand, Mr. Fenton.
I had the impression of one being tall, but not too tall, and the other one was shorter.
But not too short.
Exactly. And they were wearing masks, rubber masks. One had a Lionel Barrymore mask, and I think the other was Dick Tracy. It was quite a shock to see him.
Aha. The Brinks gang, Lieutenant. The Brinks gang to a T.
Maybe. Mr. Cartwright, would you come over here, please? Mr. Cartwright, is it the practice to keep large sums of cash on hand overnight at the store?
Well, yes, the store does a tremendous cash business, Lieutenant. Tremendous.
And yesterday was Dollar Day.
Thank you. Mr. Cartwright, how did it happen that Fenton was alone in the cash room when the bandits entered? Did he customarily close the vault for the night?
Well, not customarily, no. When I'm unavoidably called away from the store...
Well, does this happen often?
Well,
very seldom, Lieutenant. Very seldom.
But it happened yesterday. And two men walked in, put you in the vault, and walked out with a big hunk of money.
At precisely 5:56. Mr. Cartwright opened the vault this morning at 8:02.
Correct, Lieutenant. We won't know how much they got until I can make an audit.
And if there's any question, Lieutenant, of corroborating Fenton's story, I need only to say that he's been with Waterman's for 30 years, a good and faithful servant.
More exactly, Mr. Waterman, 29 years, 11 months, and 29 days. I was due to retire tomorrow before this unfortunate circumstance arose,
Nonsense, Fenton. You'll retire tomorrow. And if there's any question, Lieutenant, of Fenton's character, his honesty, his devotion...
Yeah, sure. You can go home, Mr. Fenton. Better get some rest. If you want to duck the reporters, go out this back way.
Well, what do you think, Mr. Waterman?
Entirely up to you, my boy, entirely. But in these days of doubt, of confusion, and dishonesty in high places, I believe your simple story of courage and devotion to duty will be an inspiration everywhere.
Mr. Waterman, I am ready to face the press. They were all very nice to me. The reporters, the police, Mr. Cartwright, and especially Mr. Waterman. All that money missing. $50,000. Yet his only concern was for me. I thought that if I could afford it, I'd like to buy him some little token of gratitude. Then I thought again. In my desk at the office, there was a secret compartment, and in that compartment was $50,000. I guess I could afford it. Yoo-hoo! Mother, I'm home.
Good morning, Harold. I hope you haven't had breakfast. I've kept it hot for you.
You're not going to ask me how it went, Mother?
Oh, I heard over the radio. But I wish there'd been some way of doing it that it wouldn't have kept you out all night.
Oh, I wasn't out all night, Mother. I was in a vault.
I know you were, Harold. And if you keep on, you're going to end up with that same sinus strip your father used to have.
Oh, Mother, it was a perfectly dry, warm... Oh, never mind.
Eat your cereal, Harold. You'll feel better.
Mr. Waterman told me to take the day off, Mother. I'm not going in until tomorrow.
That was certainly big of him, after all you've done for them. How much did you get?
$50,000. It's in my desk at the office, in the drawer with the false bottom.
In your desk? Will it be safe there, Harold?
Well, no one will be looking for it.
Harold, you don't think you'll have any trouble getting the money out of your desk?
I think things will work out all right. See, according to my plan,
Harold, you see, I told you from the beginning you weren't strong enough for this type of thing.
The next morning at 8:43, I punched in at the store. Figuring 308 working days a year, that made 9,240 punches. It was a little strange to think of this being my last. I walked through the store to the elevator, past lingerie, ladies' gloves, and perfume the way I always went. But this morning was different. People looked up when I passed. They spoke to me. They knew who I was. Even the brunette in perfume smiled at me. I almost stopped, but I couldn't think of anything to say. In the elevator, one of the girls asked me how I felt. Still scared, I said, and they laughed. They wouldn't have laughed any harder for Mr. Waterman. I got out at 8, my floor, and as I went into my office, Miss Prentice, Mr. Cartwright's secretary, looked at me. 23 months and 2 days she'd been looking at the top of my head. But this morning, she looked at me. And she smiled. I guess I smiled back.
Good morning, Mr. Fenton.
Good morning, Miss Prentice. It wasn't much, but I felt it could have been a start. I was almost sorry this was my last day.
Fenton, did you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Cartwright. I heard you, Mr. Cartwright.
All right. A big workload piled up yesterday when you took off, and we haven't anyone new coming in till tomorrow. Not that I want to overload you on your last day.
An honest day's work for an honest day's pay, Mr. Cartwright.
Oh, good. I'm still trying to find out how much was taken in the holdup, so you're on your own.
I think I can tell you almost to the penny, Mr. Cartwright.
I'll make my own check. And how about the work Oh, good morning, Mr. Waterman. I was just,
Well, Fenton, back at the old desk, eh?
Well, I just didn't feel right away from it, Mr. Waterman.
Hey, I got a surprise for you this afternoon, Fenton. Going to make a little ceremony out of your retirement.
A ceremony?
Good for store morale. Right, Cartwright?
Oh, absolutely, Mr. Waterman, absolutely.
And about that request of yours you made last week, Fenton, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if we can swing it.
Oh, you're too kind, Mr. Waterman.
Oh, my boy, when you work for Waterman's 30 years, you've got something coming to you.
No. Really? I ate my usual lunch that day, the Thursday blue plate special at Elmo's Grotto. 70 cents plus the usual 10% tip. 7 cents. With the usual 20 minutes left in my lunch hour, I headed for the park with a nickel bag of peanuts. The squirrels were going to miss me. No, Mr. Waterman. You've had 3 already. Give Mr. Cartwright a chance. Sit up, Mr. Cartwright. Sit. That's it. That's it.
Excuse me. Would you mind if I join you, Mr. Fenton?
Why, Miss Prentice. Of course. Of course not. Sit down.
Thank you.
Move over, Mr. Waterman.
He does look a little pompous, doesn't he? Which one is Mr. Cartwright?
There, with the small mustache. He bites.
And, is there a Miss Prentice?
Well, there is, but I believe she is, well...
Nesting?
Well...
How long have you been feeding them, Mr. Fenton? They seem so friendly.
30 years, Miss Prentice. My favorite animal. You give a squirrel a nut, and does he eat it? No. He runs away and stores it in a hole. We could all benefit from their example.
And now that you've stored your little nest egg, you're retiring, Mr. Fenton.
Well, you might say that, yes.
You're quite a fascinating character, Mr. Fenton.
Me?
I'm sorry I didn't know you sooner. You know, the whole store is talking about your ordeal in that vault.
Oh, it wasn't so bad. In fact, I've always rather liked the vault.
What an odd thing to say.
Well, chacun est son goût, Miss Prentice. That's French for each to his own taste.
Oh, you've been abroad, Mr. Fenton.
Me? Oh, my goodness, no.
Oh, but you will now that you're retiring.
No, I've got my eye on a little cottage by a lake and woods. Lots of squirrels there. And no time clocks.
You and your wife?
Mother.
Oh, I hope you get it, Mr. Fenton.
Thank you, Miss Prentice.
I wonder what the robbers are going to do with all that money.
I wonder. 5 to 1. Shall we go back and punch in, Miss Prentice? She let me walk all the way back to the store with her. And in the elevator, Mr. Bixler, Sporting Goods, winked at me. Funny, for 10 years I'd had the feeling Mr. Bixler didn't like me. There was quite a gathering in the cashier's office when we arrived. All the executives from Mr. Waterman's down, and the editor of the store paper wandering through Waterman's. I'd sent an item to him last summer. Mr. Fenton of Cashier's Department spending his 2-week vacation at home. But he never printed it.
Well, come in, Fenton. We've been waiting for our, shall we say, guest of honor.
Me, Mr. Waterman?
You, Fenton. We have a little ceremony which I'd hoped to conclude before the lunch hour was over.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Waterman.
Think nothing of it. This is your day, Fenton, your day. Oh, going to get a shot of the two of us, Wolf?
Yes, sir, Mr. Waterman. Over by the door.
Oh, if you don't mind, I'd like it sitting at my desk. I feel more, secure there.
By your desk. How's this? Got it? Good. And now, Fenton, we all say farewell to a good and faithful servant, one who has given 30 years of his life as a contribution, however small, to making Waterman's the great institution it is today. Well done, Harold Fenton.
Thank you.
A modest man, but conscientious. His regular comings and goings passed almost unknown to many until his ordeal of 2 days ago. Locked all night in the vault by brutal and rapacious thieves. A night in which, in his own words, he relived each and every day of his 30-year service to Waterman's. Oh, greater devotion hath no man.
Oh, it was nothing, really.
And now, his labor's done, his burden borne, Fenton will live out the rest of his days in ease and comfort, because he has arrived at the retirement age of the Waterman pension plan, by which he will receive...
$31.68 a month.
$31.68 a month for as long as he lives.
Thank you.
And now, a little surprise for Harold Fenton. A week ago, in a letter to me, our good and faithful servant asked that on his retirement he be given permission to purchase for his home his old desk.
Actually, Mr. Waterman, I don't know what I'd do without it.
Oh, frankly, I put in a lot of thought on this simple request.
Hmm?
I weighed the factors in my mind. On the one hand was Fenton's 30-year service. On the other...
Mr. Waterman.
On the other, he was already receiving his pension of, his pension. However...
Please, Mr. Waterman.
However, Fenton, my boy, I decided to go you one better.
One better? Not a new desk.
Nothing so unsentimental. Fenton, instead of allowing you to purchase the desk, I'm giving it to you.
Phew.
All right, boys, right in here. Take the desk wherever Fenton here wants it. And now, back to work, everybody. Month-end clearance today.
Whoops. Easy, men. Don't drop it. Easy.
Fenton, my boy, in the years ahead, when you're seated at your old desk, think of us, won't you?
I certainly will, Mr. Waterman. I certainly will.
Autolite is bringing you Mr. Jack Benny in A Good and Faithful Servant. Tonight's presentation in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
Well, Senator, did you take my advice?
Why, yes, Harlow. My Autolite spark plug dealer turned my worn spark plugs out of office and elected a set of ignition-engineered Autolite spark plugs.
A wise move, Senator. Those Autolite spark plugs are designed by the same Autolite engineers who designed the coil, distributor, generator, and all the other important parts of the complete ignition system used as original equipment on many leading makes of our finest cars, trucks, and tractors. They're world famous for quality and performance.
And my Autolite spark plug dealer nominated Autolite resistor spark plugs for my car, Harlow.
Ah, you're on top now, Senator, because Autolite resistor spark plugs represent one of the greatest advancements in spark plugs for automotive use in the past 20 years. They offer proven advantages such as double life, gas savings, and smoother performance. And they're specified as original equipment on many leading makes of our finest cars. What's more, the Autolite resistor spark plug is just one of a complete line of ignition-engineered Autolite spark plugs for every use.
So, fellow citizens, be sure. Vote for Autolite.
Right, Senator. Friends, take a tip from me and see your nearest Autolite spark plug dealer this week. And remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite.
And now, Autolite brings back to our Hollywood soundstage Mr. Jack Benny in Elliot Lewis's production of A Good and Faithful Servant. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Retirement agreed with me. A walk to the park to see my friends when I felt like it. A leisurely lunch at Elmo's Grotto when I felt like it. And when the need arose, a little gardening. Mother and I were very happy.
You've done enough for one morning, Harold. Your back will go out again.
All through, Mother. Just cleaning off the spade.
What were you planting this morning, Harold?
Mother, if anything should happen to me, knock wood.
Knock wood.
Right in between the beets and the radishes, there's a very rich patch of dirt.
Son, aren't we going to get our little cottage by the lake?
I have to go in town today, Mother. I might just inquire around.
Oh, good.
You know, Mr. Waterman is really a very sweet man. The Waterman pension plan. I just wish I could tell him how happy it's made me. I hadn't told Mother, but Miss Prentice had called that morning. Mr. Cartwright wanted to see me that afternoon at the office, she said. And she asked how I was. What would have happened if I'd asked her to lunch? I almost did, too. In the cashier's office at the store, Miss Prentice smiled when she saw me, and I smiled back. In fact, we struck up quite a conversation.
Oh, Mr. Fenton, how are you?
Fine. Just fine, Miss Prentice.
Retirement agree with you?
Yes, indeed. Fine.
You notice we haven't filled your old job.
No? Oh, yes, indeed.
Haven't been able to find another man of your type. Well...
Well...
Is that you, Fenton? Come on in here.
Coming, Mr. Cartwright.
Sit down, Fenton, sit down.
Thank you.
Just trying to clean up accounts on the robbery. Fenton, what was your final tally again?
50,000, almost exactly, Mr. Cartwright.
You're way off. That doesn't check with my audit at all.
I'm quite sure of my figures.
Well, then you're wrong, that's all. My check shows they got away with 82,000.
82,000?
Right. Now, if you'll just sign the necessary statements corroborating my audit...
I can't do that, Mr. Cartwright.
And just why can't you? Don't you take my word for it?
Frankly, no.
Fenton, look. You're retired. It's nothing to you one way or the other. You just made a little mistake in your figures, that's all.
Mr. Cartwright, are you asking me to help cover up a shortage in your accounts?
All right, Fenton, I'll lay it on the line. Temporarily, I'm a bit short. Involvement with a woman, and you wouldn't understand.
I most certainly wouldn't.
Look, I'll make it worth your while.
Shortages are found out sooner or later, Mr. Cartwright.
All right, if that's your attitude, let me tell you something, Fenton. I don't like the smell of this robbery of yours. I don't like it at all. What do you think of that?
You're implying that I made off with $50,000 belonging to Waterman's?
I think it's highly possible. And how are you so sure it was 50,000?
Supposing me, for one instant, capable of such a thing, Mr. Cartwright, wouldn't I be much too clever to put my head in a noose by covering up for you?
Fenton, if I was talking to an honest man, wouldn't he have taken my story right to Mr. Waterman? I'll give you 5 minutes. Either sign my audit or I go to the police and accuse you of stealing $82,000. Think it over, Fenton.
No question about it. Mr. Cartwright's dishonesty might be a bit awkward for me. My instinct about the man had been thoroughly sound. I had disliked him for 16 years. Well, there was only one safe way out of it.
Well?
Mr. Cartwright, if you need money...
Yes?
Why don't you rob the vault? Actually, it isn't hard at all.
Well, how do I get away with the money?
I'm sorry, I never reveal professional secrets.
Well, then you'll have to help me, Fenton. Lock me in the vault and you get away with the money.
Me?
Sure. Then we're both in the clear for good. Help me out, Fenton.
You mean I'm going to clear out the vault a second time?
You'll never regret it.
Regret it? The fact is, I'd rather enjoy it. We settled on the following Friday. Friday nights, the stores stayed open till 9, and they were having a big white sale that day. The money was already stacked on Mr. Cartwright's desk when I got there. It was a juicy haul. I didn't see Mr. Cartwright around, but...
Hello, Mr. Fenton.
Miss Prentice. But the money.
I was listening when you and Mr. Cartwright made your plans, Mr. Fenton, and he caught me and forced me to help him. You understand, Harold. I mean, Mr. Fenton.
Harold, times like these draw people together quickly, don't you think?
Oh, I do. I really do.
Miss Prentice.
Helen.
Thank you. Helen, Miss Prentice, Mr. Cartwright mentioned a woman in his life. You're not the one?
Harold, of course not.
Excuse me. I just thought... You remember the office party last Christmas?
Oh, that? Well, that was just because he was under the mistletoe. And if you'd been under it instead of Mr. Cartwright...
Really? Well...
Oh, Fenton, you're here. Good. Anybody see you come up?
It doesn't matter, really, Mr. Cartwright. Might even be better that way. Then you and Miss Prentice can say that I left minutes before the bandits arrived.
You're right, of course, Harold.
Thank you. Are you ready, Mr. Cartwright? I brought some wrapping paper for the money. Even brought along a handle with care sticker. That's the Fenton touch, you know.
Get on with it, will you?
No need to be nervous. There. Neat? I spent 8 years in wrapping and mailing.
All right. You know what to do with it, Helen.
I know.
Just a minute, Mr. Cartwright. I'm to take the money, remember?
There's been a change, Fenton. We rewrote the script.
You think that's wise? To fly in the face of my experience?
Now, look, Fenton, we're not children. You lock us in the vault and take off with the money. You think we'd ever see you again?
Well, you're questioning my honesty? I'm sure Miss Prentice will vouch for me. We're rather good friends. Miss Prentice. Helen.
Unfortunately for you, Fenton, Helen's on my side. Now, if you wouldn't mind getting into the vault, huh?
Me? In the vault? But...
This is a loaded gun, Fenton. Get in the vault.
But...
You came back for a second helping, that's all. The Confederate got away with the money, but I courageously slammed the vault door on you and went for help.
But...
Will they believe me? I imagine they'll find $50,000 somewhere around your house. They'll believe me.
Helen. I see.
I'm sorry, Harold. It's a nasty trick, but we're nasty people. You should have stuck to squirrels.
Just one thing, Fenton. How did you ever get that $50,000 out of here the first time?
How? Well, I didn't, Mr. Cartwright.
You didn't?
Then where is it?
It's still in the vault.
I don't believe it.
Oh, it's quite cleverly hidden. It took me most of that night. I was locked in.
Get in there and show me.
I'm sorry, Mr. Cartwright.
Get in there.
No. I went through a lot for that money, Mr. Cartwright. 30 years. I just as soon you shot me.
Helen, hold the gun on him. I'm going in and look.
Well, don't be long. What if somebody should walk in?
I'll be able to see if he's lying. Just watch him.
You see anything?
Not yet. I don't think it's possible. Open the door so I can get some more light.
Must be true. Crime changes people. I had never lied, yet I lied to Cartwright. I had never used violence, yet I got behind Helen and...
Hey!
I guess I'll go home. Mother will be wondering what's happened to me.
Some more cereal, Harold?
I don't think so, Mother, thanks. What time is it?
8:10, son.
Well, they would have opened the vault at 8 this morning. The police should be here any minute.
Are you sure those two will implicate you, Harold?
It seems likely, Mother. The gun would be hard to explain. And I think Miss Prentice will turn on Mr. Cartwright after a night in the vault.
Yes, she's just the type.
I'm sorry, Mother. I guess I just don't know much about women.
It's all right, son. You think they'll be hard on you?
Not very. I haven't spent any of the money. The insurance companies always look kindly on such cases. There they are.
Harold, how long?
2 years, Mother. Maybe less. Maybe even 1.
It's still a long time.
A long time? After 30 years in Waterman's? Hardly. I'll get the door.
Suspense. Presented by Autolite. Tonight's star, Mr. Jack Benny.
This is Harlow Wilcox speaking for Autolite, world's largest independent manufacturer of automotive electrical equipment. Autolite is proud to serve the greatest names in the industry. They are members of the Autolite family, as are the 98,000 Autolite distributors and dealers in the United States and thousands more in Canada and throughout the world. Our family also includes the nearly 30,000 men and women in 28 great Autolite plants from coast to coast and in still other Autolite plants in many foreign countries, as well as the 18,000 people who have invested a portion of their savings in Autolite. Every Autolite product is backed by constant research and precision built to the highest standards of quality and performance. So remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite.
Next week, a story of revenge. The desperate effort of a murderer to destroy the man who had committed him to prison. The story is called Concerto for Killer and Eyewitnesses. Our star, the director of suspense, Mr. Elliot Lewis. That's next week on Suspense. Suspense is produced and directed by Elliot Lewis, with music composed by Lucian Morowick and conducted by Lud Gluskin. A Good and Faithful Servant, was written for suspense by Richard M. Powell. Portions of this program were transcribed. In tonight's cast, Norma Varden was heard as Mrs. Fenton, Doris Singleton as Helen, Gerald Moore as Mr. Cartwright, Joseph Kearns as Mr. Waterman, Hy Averback as Lieutenant Miller, and Charles Calvert as Mr. Wolfe.
For the location of your nearest Autolite spark plug or Autolite battery dealer, or your nearest authorized Autolite service station, phone Western Union by number and ask for operator 25. Switch to Autolite. Good night.
This is the CBS Radio Network.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Many tales have been told of strange happenings which take place in castles. What more appropriate setting than an enormous edifice with hidden chambers, unexplored turrets, and dangerous balconies? Usually the setting is England or Scotland, where castles abound. But the setting for our drama is much closer to home. The castle we're about to visit is in New England on the Connecticut River. It contains all the mystery and more than many of its antecedents.
Now, should you need them, there are candles over there.
But it's such a brightly lit room.
One never knows. And if you feel uneasy in a strange house, you'd better take this.
Oh, a revolver?
An old-fashioned pistol.
No, please, Mr. Gillette. I'm terrified of guns.
Yeah, take it. You may need it.
Our mystery drama, Nightmare in Gillette Castle, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Elizabeth Pennell and stars Kevin McCarthy and Jada Rowland. I'll be back shortly with Act One.
Where is that clerk?
Can I help you? We have to see the hotel manager.
Right away.
I'll get him.
And hurry. Oh, John.
It's okay.
Our vacation's ruined.
Don't worry, honey. Please, maybe we can find someone who...
Hi, I'm the hotel manager.
Oh, listen, we've lost our traveler's checks.
All of them. What should we do?
Well, what kind were they?
American Express.
Right. American Express. Come on, I've got their number right here.
You can call for help anytime from anywhere in the country with American Express traveler's checks. Ask for them by name.
It's your way of looking good. Having fun in summer like you should. Add some beautiful color to your summer with Avon's exciting new color cream makeup. Moisturizing makeup with color that lasts and lasts through long summer days. You got lots of things to do, so we bring Avon right to you.
New York, London, Amsterdam. Bob Armstrong's of Armstrong's Diamond Center spent a good deal of time in these and other diamond capitals of the world, inspecting, selecting, and purchasing the finest raw gems to become Armstrong's Diamonds. Bob Armstrong's has recently returned from making a major acquisition. He has used his experience and expertise to secure these precious stones from the dealers at a very special price. This means two things. One, there may never be a larger selection of Armstrong's diamonds from which to choose. And two, the prices will never be lower, making now, right now, the best time to buy an Armstrong's diamond. If you're considering a diamond purchase in the near future, for whatever reason, consider making that purchase now. Armstrong's will work with you, using the Armstrong's 12-month no-interest purchase policy. Armstrong's, where we deal in diamonds. In the Brickyard Mall, Chicago, Woodmar Center, Southlake, Marquette Malls, Northwest Indiana, and Glenbrook Center, Fort Wayne.
Like many New Yorkers, Jim and Pamela Watson enjoy getting out on weekends to explore the countryside. It's amazing how quickly you can get from the big city to rural communities, rolling hills, wooded forests, or discover unexpected places of historic interest. Jim is a Sherlock Holmes buff, and he has heard that a certain state park in Connecticut houses treasures which attract devotees of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle from all over the world. We begin with an ordinary Saturday excursion. Jim and Pamela Watson are totally unprepared for the bizarre events which are about to take place.
Jim, slow down. You're driving too fast.
Honey, we've already wasted too much time.
Well, what's the hurry?
Park, Pam. I'd planned on spending several hours there.
I'd rather go antiquing.
Yeah, but you... Oh, here's the turnout. You see the sign? Gillette Castle State Park.
Beautiful ground. And, oh, look.
Yeah, I see it.
There is a castle. I thought it was just a model, but it's a real one.
Hey, what a pile of stone.
We can go inside.
That's what we're here for. Now, why don't you go see if we need tickets to get in? I'll park the car.
I'm here, Jim. Please hurry. This place is spooky.
Did you get the tickets?
No. I came through that big gate and up this passageway. The door's open, see? It goes into a huge, dark room, but nobody's here.
That's strange. Hello! Hello in there!
Jim, is there a Mr. Gillette who lives in this castle?
There was. He died back in 1937.
Is someone down there?
Yes, we want to see the castle.
Well, I'm afraid you're too late. I was just coming to close the door. We're short-handed today, and I'm conducting the last tour. You'd better come back some other time. Oh, please, can't we join the tour, even if it's already started? Well, I suppose so. I left the group up in the library, but come along, follow me. Jim, who was Mr. Gillette?
Honey, don't let the guide know how dumb you are. He was just the greatest American actor who ever played the role of Sherlock Holmes.
Well, Mr. Gillette was much more than an actor. He was also a playwright and an inventor. He designed everything in this castle himself, inside and out. It's so gloomy. Now, we dim the lights after demonstrations in the Great Hall, but to save energy. It's too bad you missed the stained glass. But come along, and we'll join the others. This way, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have time to see everything. There are 24 rooms of varying shapes and sizes. Look, Jim, the hallway's a street name. Mr. Gillette's bedroom opens off this gallery. He could observe whoever was down below by looking toward those mirrors I showed you over the French door.
His bedroom's not exactly what you'd call cozy.
It would give me claustrophobia.
Oh, say, that could be a sliding panel over there.
Oh, you're very observant. Behind it are switches whereby Mr. Gillette could control all the electric lights. He was also able to cut off the telephones when he wanted to. And over here is a panel you could never find unless you knew exactly where to look. Now watch what happens. Oh, yes. This naked staircase. Where does it go? Well, this one leads to the tower, where Mr. Gillette enjoyed his magnificent view of the river and surrounding hills. But we must hurry along. Now, follow me, and I will show you the best room of all.
Oh, hold on, Sam. I want to see that museum room and library where they've already been. It's back this way.
Photographs everywhere. Oh, there's one of John Valmore.
These playbills. Oh, and a glass case filled with letters. Oh, here's one from Conan Doyle.
And a book. Take a look at the title.
I could spend days in here.
We better catch up with the tour.
I don't care if we don't see anything else.
I do. I'm going...
Uh-oh.
Oh, the lights. They're going out.
Yeah, it must be a warning to leave. Quick, we better catch up with the others.
Jim, I'm scared.
Steady, Pam. There's still some daylight left. Now, we'll find our way to the front door. Come on.
Oh, thank goodness I hear them.
Yeah, we're going in the right direction.
Where is everybody? Wait for us.
Let's run for it, Pam.
They can't have gone far. If we bang on the door and yell as loud as we can.
This door is made of steel. These stone walls must be 2 or 3 feet thick.
What are we going to do? I can't imagine anything worse than spending the night in this scary place. Besides, I'm hungry.
There has to be a guard on duty.
Well, he's being awfully quiet.
No, I mean outside, patrolling the grounds. If I could just find a light switch and attract his attention.
I saw candles on a table in that place the guide called the Great Hall. I'd be afraid to go in there.
Well, here, take my hand and show me.
There. Do you have a map?
Yeah, right here.
No need to light a candle, and I can flood the room with colorful illumination.
Oh, it's like a stage set. Oh, where did that voice come from?
Over there by the stairs. He must be a guard.
Oh, thank goodness you're here. We were afraid we'd been locked in.
I am not in the habit of entertaining uninvited guests. Who are you?
This is my wife, Pamela, and I'm James Watson.
Your last name appeals to me. Need I introduce myself?
Well, we thought you were a guard. But you're not dressed like one.
I should think not. I'm rather fond of this dressing gown.
Then you must be the son of Mr. William Gillette.
No, I have no son. My name is Gillette, and I alone am master of this castle.
Well, then please, Mr. Gillette, will you unbar the door and let us go home?
Certainly not. Certainly not. First of all, I want to know how you got in here.
Well, it was the last tour of the day, and we were late.
And then we became so interested in all those marvelous things in your library.
Well, this is preposterous. I do not allow tours through my castle ever.
But there was.
Never mind. You're talking nonsense. But this is one of those evenings when companionship would be quite pleasant.
Oh, we must be on our way. We didn't have much lunch, and
If you have the proper qualifications, you are welcome to partake of my dinner and spend the night.
Oh, no, we couldn't do that.
Well, I like the idea of dinner.
Well, we wouldn't want to impose.
The young lady seems to admire my light fixtures.
Oh, yes, such pretty bits of stained glass.
All supplied by my visitors. What you might call a ticket of admission to my hospitality.
I don't understand.
These lampshades are my own handiwork, but the bits and pieces were all contributed by my guests.
Oh, if we'd known when we were back in that antique store.
I'll wager that you have something with you which will suffice.
I'm afraid not.
No, it's up to you. Either you stay as my guest, or I will have you apprehended for housebreaking.
You wouldn't dare.
Watch your language, young man. I'll leave you alone for 3 minutes to think it over. Ah, Miss Stapleton.
Oh, that cat startled me.
Come along, Miss Stapleton.
He meant it, Pam. Now, look through your purse. See if there's something.
That man is mad. You heard what he called his cat.
Sure. Miss Stapleton, straight from the Hound of the Baskervilles. I'm beginning to enjoy myself. Oh, and say.
What is it now?
In my pocket. Look, my sunglasses. Colored glass. You think this will do for our tickets of admission?
I see you are making progress. May I hold those spectacles up to the light?
Oh, sure.
Rather pleasant blue color. Yes, these will be quite usable. Now, what does your wife have to offer?
Well, couldn't a pair of glasses be from both of us?
No. It doesn't work that way.
Look in your purse, Sam. You gotta have something.
Compact, lipstick. Oh, here's my key ring with its pendant.
A ruby.
It's only glass.
Exactly. So now you are welcome. Before our repast, we'll climb to the tower and enjoy the last glimmer of fading light.
Oh, this view is breathtaking. Oh, I wish we could have seen it in the daytime.
Why, you will. Tomorrow morning.
Oh, really? We must leave after dinner.
No one ever leaves here after nightfall.
Tim, we have to get home. Tell him that.
Relax, Sam. Tomorrow's Sunday. We don't have anywhere to go. And there's so many things I'd like to ask Mr. Gillette.
That's more like it. Mrs. Hudson is a very efficient housekeeper, and I'm sure she has everything ready now.
Is her name really Mrs. Hudson?
I'm pleased that you're acquainted with Mr. Sherlock Holmes' landlady. When I advertised for a housekeeper, I specified that her name be Hudson. I suppose if this admirable woman's name had been anything else, I should have called her that anyway. Well, this should rouse her.
Such a long hallway.
Yeah. I think you'll find this room satisfactory. Please note that every door except the steel entrance to the castle opens without a sound. And the light switch works this way.
Look at all those books. No sleep for me tonight.
Oh, dear me. They're even taking over here. That makes 11. No, 13 cats on the premises. I suppose you'd object to his staying under your bed.
Oh, so big.
No. Simmer down. That's it. Climb up on Daddy. I'll take you along. Now, should you need them, there are candles over there.
But it's such a brightly lighted room.
One never knows. And if you feel uneasy in a strange house, you'd better take this. A revolver? An old-fashioned pistol.
No, please, Mr. Gillette. I'm terrified of guns.
Here. You take it, Mr. Watson.
I'd rather not.
This pistol's carved of wood. Made it myself. Couldn't fire even a blank cartridge. When it was used in a stage play, the sound effects had to come from off stage.
Certainly looks like the genuine article.
It's yours to keep. And now, I'll bid you good night and be off to Europe.
To Europe?
That's what I call my special hideaway. A room where no one can follow and the rest of the world disappears. Pleasant dreams.
Tim, won't you please turn off those blinding lights and come to bed?
Ooh, much sleepier than I thought. Oh, that food and drink. Can't focus on the books. Bed's more comfortable than it looks.
It's shivering in the dark. Hold my hand.
Sleep well.
Tim, did you hear something?
Go to sleep.
Listen. Come in here.
Sounds like the housekeeper, Mrs. Hudson.
Something terrible is happening.
If this is one of Mr. Gillette's games, he's really gone too far this time.
Games can be very real, and the effect may be much like that of a psychosomatic illness. Not only does the patient have all the symptoms, but he truly feels the pain and the fear. From the time Gillette Castle was under construction in 1914 until today, strange things have happened there. In a few minutes, I'll be back with Act 2, and we'll continue with what has started off as a very eventful night.
The Ritual. Those children were far from innocent. The Ritual, pulsating with the unexpected horror of those who play deadly games. The Ritual. If Jonathan knew what was going to happen, he never would have left Diana alone with them. A horrifying tale of murder, ancient cults of evil, and shattered innocence. Read The Ritual, then go to sleep with the lights on. The Ritual, a Charter paperback.
A message from CBS News. As the Republicans build their convention platform, many Americans have questions about the vital issues the party will debate. In Louisville, Kentucky.
I'm worried about the United States of America, about the United States I grew up in and the things that are meant to me. I'm worried about the effects of things like busing and too much government control.
Do the Republicans have an answer? Complete convention coverage continues tonight on the CBS television network.
You bet I'll be watching.
You can run into a lot of problems these days trying to borrow money. And saving it is getting tougher every day. First Federal of Gary knows your needs. 13 savings centers, all linked electronically by the Big One Honeywell computer to form the Big One Network. Process knowledge to provide the know-how to help when you need it. And, brother, do we need it. First Federal of Gary, where the current interest rate on 6-month T-bills is 8.614%. Short-term 90-day jumbo certificates pay 9%. Borrow or save, or both. It's easy. At the one with the Big One Network. First Federal of Gary. Member FSLIC.
Shakespeare said about all the world being a stage. Well, William Gillette began play acting and writing when he was a small boy in Hartford. First, it was comedies, but later, his favorite character was Sherlock Holmes, a cool and resourceful man of action. When he decided to retire, his home became a stage, and his famous castle is haunted by the memories he stored up there. At the moment, Jim and Pam Watson are caught in the web of his spell. And they've just heard some chilling sounds in the night.
Help me! Help me! Jim, what are we going to do?
We are going to try to get some sleep.
Well, how can we? You heard it. That woman is in trouble. Help me! Help me! We've got to do something.
Look, let Mr. Gillette handle it.
It's gone to...
Yeah, I know. His secret hideaway.
What time is it?
Well, how should I know?
Well, turn on the light and find out.
Pam, the light switch doesn't work. I'll try to reach that floor lamp. It's like it's pitch in here.
Well, get the candles. Over there on the dresser.
Oh, yeah, I found them.
Oh, but it's so dark, I'll never find a match.
On the bedside table?
No, they're in my pants pocket. Now, where...
Oh, in my purse.
Oh, no, you never have any match.
Oh, no, I'll get it. In here somewhere. Look at flashlight.
Oh, good girl. Give it to me. Not much of a beam, but it's better than nothing.
Oh, you made a mess of that lamp. Watch out for broken glass.
I'm putting my shoes on. In fact, I'm getting dressed.
Well, then I will, too.
No, you stay in bed. Oh, that does it. I am going to find out what's going on.
You're not going anywhere without me.
Hang on to me.
Oh, this cold, dark hole. And all those doors.
Now, which direction were the sounds coming from?
This way.
No, this way. Come this way. Over here.
Oh, Jim, I don't want to go. I'm afraid.
We can't stop now.
Oh, will you come to my room?
But what is it?
Mrs. Hudson? Mrs. Hudson?
I don't want to know what's happening in there.
We have to find out. Mrs. Hudson?
What's the meaning of this?
We've come to help you.
Help me. I was sound asleep, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning.
But you were crying out for help.
I was what?
Yeah, well, we thought you were in trouble.
You were screaming and pounding on the wall and calling for someone to come.
I assure you I was fast asleep, and I don't take it kindly to be aroused.
Well, how could we have been mistaken? You led us right to your door.
No one disturbs me in the middle of the night, not even Mr. Gillette.
Well, we would have tried to find him, except he said he was going to...
Oh, to Europe, huh? That's where he goes when there are people he wants to get away from. By now he'll be safely in his own bed. And if you know what's good for you, you won't do any more snooping around.
Now, you're sure you're all right?
Then I'll be much better if I can get some sleep. And I'll thank you to go back to your room and to stay there.
Oh, Jim, where is our room?
Some of the hallways were labeled with street names. Now, what's the name of ours?
I haven't the slightest idea.
Let's try this. Another of those noiseless doors.
Close it quickly. I can't stand those cats.
Oh, how about this door?
Piles of furniture all shrouded.
No one's been in here for a long time. Look at the cobwebs.
Come away. Those lumpy sheets are like ghosts.
Well, we've made a wrong turn. I'm going to try this door.
There's something flashing.
Some kind of lamp. Smells like coal oil.
Red lantern. Look what it spells out on the wall. Danger.
Stay back, Pam. The floor drops away. There's nothing left but a big black hole. Let's get out of here.
Please, Jim, don't open any more doors.
Look, Pam, there's one over there. It's halfway open.
And a bright light inside.
Oh, no, we couldn't be back at Mrs. Hudson's, could we?
Not possibly.
Anything's possible around here.
I wouldn't dare not.
I'm not going to. I'm just going to pull the door wide.
Oh, Jim, that ceiling floodlight has come back on. This is our room.
Who'd ever think that a room in this place would look like a home?
Be careful, Jim.
Yeah, I know. The broken glass.
No, I mean, someone may be hiding. Someone who came in while we were gone.
Well, you can see for yourself. There's no one here.
What about the closet?
Yeah, I'll soon find out. Hand me that cane.
Oh, skull engraved on the handle.
I barely touched the wall and the door flies open.
There is someone in there. Hold tight to the cane.
Nothing but a dusty old cape on a hanger.
Are you sure? It looks just
like... for yourself.
These clothes and hats. They're all black, as if...
As if they'd been worn at a funeral.
Well, we're going to be worn at one.
Come on, Pam, we're getting morbid. I'll bet they're just costumes for a play.
I wouldn't count on it.
I'm not counting on anything. First off, I'm going to lock our door.
But there isn't any key.
No, but there's an ingenious wooden arm that comes down like this. There. Now, I defy anyone to break through a barrier as solid as that.
Well, I do feel better. But believe me, I am not going back to bed.
Neither am I.
So now's your chance to tackle those books.
Not a bad idea.
Maybe if you'd read to me, it would settle my nerves.
While I gazed, a feeling of intense cold seized me. I had an impression of an immense and overwhelming power, and sensed my utter inadequacy.
Stop reading, please. I've had more than enough.
Honey, this is a classic.
Those murders in the Rue Morgue, and it scares me every time.
Mm-hmm. There's a copy of that on the table.
I know. Please, Tim, find something more cheerful.
Okay. Crimes of passion?
No. This one sounds better. The Minister and the Choir Singer.
That's the bloodiest of all. True story. Took place in New Jersey.
What's on the next shelf?
How the Medicis Did It.
Heavens, it's a recipe book.
A whole roll of volumes on poisons, including the Poisoner's Handbook, the Poisoner's Dictionary.
And this shelf is all witchcraft.
Maybe that would be more soothing.
No, thank you. I think I'll just lie down after all and try to think my own thoughts. Did you hear it, Tim?
Hear what?
Starting all over, that awful screaming.
Oh, not again.
Sounds as though she means it this time.
Wooden brace off the door.
No, don't go out there.
You stay here.
Not on your life. But I'm not going to give that mad woman the satisfaction of...
All right, but this time the hall lights are on.
Well, then let Mrs. Hudson take care of herself.
I'm not going to her room. I'm going to find Mr. Gillette.
And I'm going with you.
That guide showed us, remember? His room is right here in the middle of the balcony.
Yes, there's something about mirrors.
I hate to do this, but here goes. Come in.
His light's on.
Mr. Gillette, we're sorry to disturb you, but...
We hope you weren't asleep.
Not at all. I was reading. Come in and sit down. Why, you're still wearing your city clothes.
Yeah, we put them on in rather a hurry.
I thought you'd like the pajamas and dressing gowns I provide for my guests.
We didn't see any.
Did you look in the closets?
Well, not those terrible black capes and...
Oh, good heavens, my error. I thought those things were in another room. Is that why you came to see me?
No, it wasn't that.
It was the screams.
What are you talking about?
Well, we heard cries for help.
And the lights went out.
Our electrical system is not always dependable.
But the urgent cries for help, didn't you hear them?
Didn't hear a thing.
Well, we were sure it was Mrs. Hudson, and she sounded in agony.
I'm beginning to understand.
She was begging for someone to come to her rescue.
And you went to her door and frightened the poor lady out of her wits.
No, on the contrary, we were the ones who were scared.
Well, she sounded so desperate only when we got there.
Occasionally, the dear lady suffers from nightmares. They should be over by now.
You mean she was asleep all the time?
Exactly.
It happens often.
I fear that, dark shadows lurk somewhere in Mrs. Hudson's past. But she suits me so admirably, I've never probed into her psyche. I just leave her alone.
And you're making us feel quite foolish. I guess we should apologize for behaving like this, but...
We're not used to spending the night in the castle.
Well, all the more reason I should make you feel at home. Well, I have a hot plate here, and all the fixings over here. How about a cup of nice warm chocolate?
Oh, no, thank you.
You, Mr. Watson?
Thank you just the same. I think we'd better go back to our room and make up for some lost sleep.
I'll try to get some sleep, but I'm going to keep my clothes on, including my shoes.
It's all right now, Pam. We've just had a bad case of jitters.
More than that. I feel so strange. Nothing's going to be right until it's daylight and we can get out of here. Could anyone have made you drink that cup of chocolate?
No way.
You heard it, didn't you?
Of course I heard it, a gunshot. But we're both going to pretend that we didn't.
Put that bar back on the door.
Watson, come to my room and come quickly.
No, Jim. Pay no attention.
When Mr. Gillette gives a command like that, I've got to go.
You mean we do?
No, not this time, Pam.
You'd have to knock me out to make me stay behind.
All right, well, hand me the pistol.
It's only a fake.
It wouldn't do any good against a real one, but I'd feel a lot better with a gun in my hand.
His bedroom door's open.
Now, stay behind me. Mr. Gillette?
He's in bed. All covered up.
Mr. Gillette? Mr. Gillette, you called me. What is it?
Can't be asleep. But he's so still.
Mr. Gillette, wake up. Mr. Gillette?
Oh, Jim. He's so pale.
No signs of violence. But no pulse. No heartbeat.
he?
Yes, pal. No faking it this time. Mr. William Gillette is dead.
How's that for a turn of events? Even the best of actors can go too far in attempting to create an illusion of reality. But what is reality, really? We're not even sure what we mean when we talk about real people. Back in 1800, Schiller, the poet, said that in stagecraft, appearance should never attain reality. And he felt that art would be ruined if nature took over. Well, drama thrives upon surprise, and I assure you that more surprises are coming up shortly in Act 3.
Excuse me, I own that shoe store across the street. Want to buy it?
Well,
I'll be honest. I have great shoes, but no customers, so I'm ready to sell the whole thing at any price you name it.
$12.
Sold.
Ooh.
Well, now that you own a shoe store, what'll you do with it?
Well, advertise.
I tried. A lot of newspaper ads, then TV and magazines.
I'll probably go radio.
Radio?
Yeah, according to the latest studies, everyday radio reaches more people than newspaper, TV, or magazine.
How did you
What's
know?
more, radio targets customers. I'll match up the right stations for my dressier lines and different stations for young casual. Since radio costs a lot less than newspapers or TV, I'll get good efficiency.
Listen, I'd like to buy my store back from you.
Well,
at a fair profit.
Okay.
How much do you...
$156,000.
That's a pretty fair profit.
Take it or leave it.
I'll take it.
What you don't know about radio could cost you a lot. What you can learn is free for the asking. Call this radio station or the Radio Advertising Bureau. They brought you this message. Radio. It's red hot.
I'm trying to save money on my food bill, so I shop at a discount grocery store. It's inconvenient because I have to go somewhere else to do the rest of my food shopping, but I save on a few items.
I save money, too, by shopping the discount grocery store that's inside every Jewel. Plus, at Jewel, I can get everything I need, like meat and fresh fruits and vegetables, so I don't waste time driving around.
At my discount grocery store, I got 5 pounds of sugar for $1.99 and canned peaches for 59 cents.
At Jewel, I got 5 pounds of generic sugar for $1.99 and canned peaches for 59 cents just by following the signs down Jewel's grocery aisles. With Jewel's convenience and low grocery prices, why shop anywhere else?
Discount grocery prices, plus all of Jewel's other fine shops and services. It's like having a store within a store. And don't miss Jewel's dollar sale. But savings all over the store, like Golden Farm Stand bananas. Through Wednesday, 4 pounds are only $1. Come to Jewel for the quality.
You'll come back for the price.
This is your White Sox station, Sports Radio 78, WBBM, Chicago.
It is nearly dawn, with a glimmer of light catching the small paned windows of Gillette Castle. Not only are James and Pamela Watson literally prisoners inside the walls, but their host is lying quite dead in his bed. They tried frantically to find Mrs. Hudson. Their hopes were raised when they found a telephone, but you guessed it.
No. Of course it's not working. That does it. Now all we can do is wait.
Oh, what if no one comes?
Well, they have to sooner or later. Maybe hours yet.
Let's get as far away from that room as possible.
I wish I could think of something. Nothing but doors. Wouldn't you think one of them would lead to the outside?
Look, Jim. The sign on this hallway says Baker Street.
Huh. It would. I bet there's even a number 221B.
There is.
No harm in trying that door.
Unbelievable.
Straight out of the books. The fireplace, his slippers, and pipe.
A violin? Huh. And all those papers and bottles that look like chemicals. What a stage set.
Good morning.
Oh, thank God. Mr. Gillette, you've done it again.
I beg your pardon.
You're alive.
Well, of course I'm alive. Although I am not in the habit of rising this early in the morning.
You are truly remarkable. And this is worth everything that's happened. What a performance.
Young man, could it be possible that you don't know who I am?
Of course we know. You're Sherlock Holmes. That is, you're Mr. Gillette pretending to be Sherlock Holmes.
No one pretends to be Sherlock Holmes. Your name could be Watson, that's common enough, but I am the sole individual who has the combined first and last names of Sherlock and Holmes.
Come on now, Mr. Gillette. You've had your fun with it. It's been a long night. Now, let's just have a good laugh over the way you fooled us.
Well, this becomes more interesting by the moment. Sit down. Sit down, both of you, and tell me more about this Mr. Gillette.
Well, he is you, sir, Mr. William Gillette, and there can be no question in anyone's mind that you are a great actor.
My profession is not acting, although there are times when I am called upon to use the actor's skills.
Your makeup is simply terrific. Every single detail.
Young lady, you've never seen me in disguise.
But you look so different when you're Mr. Gillette.
I am losing my patience. If there is an actor masquerading as Sherlock Holmes, he is an imposter and must be brought to justice. Where did you meet this man?
And then, sir, as we came down the long hallway, we saw the sign Baker Street and the number on the door.
Mr. Watson, you are presently inside my landlady's house. Draw the curtains over there, and you will look out on one of the most famous streets in London.
Jim, look. Just like a London street. Only it can't be.
I'd open the window, but that's dangerous for a man in my position.
You don't believe what we've just told you, do you?
Well, indeed, it may have elements of truth. But I don't accept this fantasy about a castle and screams in the night.
We explained that Mrs. Hudson was having a nightmare.
That's another thing which makes your case more serious. Mrs. Hudson never has nightmares.
How do you know?
Elementary, my dear sir. There appear, however, to be two impostors involved. I suppose you will claim that this Mrs. Hudson is an actress who shares a castle with your Mr. Gillette?
Oh, no. Well, she's the housekeeper.
Never fear. I'll get to the bottom of this. And if I'm not mistaken, here comes the answer to our puzzle.
It's an old-fashioned carriage. Stopping right in front of the house.
Kindly step back from the window. Enemies of mine waste hours across the street peering in this direction. Come in, Mrs. Hudson.
Sorry to break in on you so early, Mr. Holmes. You know I'll never bother you until you're ready for breakfast.
Yes, but this is an emergency.
Oh, indeed it is. Oh, excuse me. I didn't know there'd be people here at this time of day.
They appear to have an emergency, too. I'm told that they spent the night in a castle, but you spent the night at your sister's.
You knew.
Call it a logical conclusion.
Mr. Holmes, I must go down to the kitchen and get the fire started. But then, if you could spare me a few moments...
Come right back. I'm sure what you have to say concerns everyone in this room.
Oh, Mr. Holmes, the most terrible thing has happened at my sister's house.
But your sister is unharmed?
Oh, no, it's not her. But you know she takes in boarders, same as I do. And this man hasn't been here very long.
What sort of man?
Oh, a proper gentleman. Very thin, dark hair. But he was almost as tall as you.
You speak in the past tense. I assume there has been an accident.
Well, that's it. We don't rightly know what happened.
Come now, Mrs. Hudson. You were there.
Well, in the middle of the night, he called out for my sister and told her he was not feeling well. He said he'd sent for the doctor, and he asked her to let him in when he came.
Go on.
Well, I heard the doorbell ring. It woke me up.
And then your sister took the doctor into the boarder's room?
But there were two of them.
Two doctors?
The doctor had a woman with him. Said she was his nurse.
Very interesting.
My sister left him in the sick man's room. And then she and I were talking in the back hall when we...
Heard a gunshot?
Well, I don't think it was a gunshot. More like a shutter banging. But right afterward, the doctor and nurse came running down the stairs and rushed out the front door into the street.
Well, of course, you didn't follow them. It was still dark, and you were in your nightclothes.
Oh, we went straight to Mr... Oh, dear, you see, I'm so rattled I've forgotten the poor man's name. Well, we went right to his room, and he was in bed, all covered up. We called. We tried to wake him, but it was all so horrible, Mr. Holmes, because he was dead.
Here, Mrs. Hudson. Now drink this. It'll make you feel much better.
Poor lady nearly passed out.
Do you blame her?
Now tell me, Mrs. Hudson, what was this boarder's occupation?
Well, he seemed to be a gentleman of leisure. Stayed home every day, did. Oh, that is every day but Saturdays.
But he went out every evening. Is that right?
Well, it seemed so odd. Every night of the week.
Around theater time, I imagine. And his name was Mr. Gillette?
Of course. Oh, I remember now. But how did you know?
Call it deduction.
Not Mr. William Gillette.
Oh, well, I wouldn't know his first name. But my sister could tell you. It couldn't be.
Oh, yes, it could. Now, Mrs. Hudson, did you or your sister send for the police?
Oh, no, not yet. It only just happened. My sister runs a very respectable house. She don't want any crowds coming around or any scandal.
Were there any signs of violence?
But Mr. Gillette's room was neat as a pin.
No blood? No weapons? No injury to the body?
Oh, I couldn't bear to look. But my sister said he didn't have a mark on him.
Well, then isn't it possible that he died in his sleep?
Oh, he was wide awake when my sister saw him. And then that doctor and nurse, they were in such a hurry.
Mm-hmm. What did this man and woman look like?
Well, I didn't see them. But my sister said they were both quite young. Well, I would guess about the age of this lady and gentleman here.
Just as I thought.
Oh, and they wouldn't have gone running off like that unless something was wrong. Well, would they? I mean, that's why I came right away to you, Mr. Holmes. Oh, if you could just find them.
Perhaps I already have.
Well, you must be joking, Mr. Holmes. Well, I know you're a great detective, but how could you possibly...
Run along now, run along. Go back to your sister's house. Tell her to keep the door to that room closed tight and to go about her business as if nothing had happened.
But you will help us?
Yes. I'll be along just as soon as I finish my business here. Well, it seems that we have more than one actor in this play.
Well, just what do you mean?
Your whereabouts this past night has shifted to a different stage.
Well, you aren't connecting us with this murder at Mrs. Hudson's sister.
You do assume, then, that Mr. Gillette was murdered.
Which Mr. Gillette are you talking about?
My dear Mrs. Watson, you can't believe that all of this is sheer coincidence.
Well, what else could it be?
Item 1, a sound like a shot was heard.
She said it was a banging shutter.
Very similar to the clap made by certain pistols.
We were nowhere near a house in London.
Item 2, a talented actor is found dead in his bed, and his name is William Gillette.
Pardon me, sir, but I believe it was you who put that idea in Mrs. Hudson's head.
Watson, would you dare impugn my methods of deduction?
Of course not, Mr. Holmes. But in this case...
Item 3, 2 young people, male and female, discover the body and leave the victim's room in great haste.
But Jim is not a doctor, and I'm not a nurse.
More likely you than another couple. After all, the Watsons come from a distinguished medical family.
Sir, I assure you, I am not...
Never mind. Item by item, there is but one case, not 2. No signs of struggle. No visible injury. Oh, it's all very clear. I must now keep my promise to Mrs. Hudson.
It may seem clear to you,
Mr. Holmes, we came to you first. You must help us. The body we found was right here in Mr. Gillette's castle.
My dear young lady, in the castles of the mind, many things can happen.
You don't believe us, do you?
I believe that when you wanted your Mr. Gillette to be there, he was, and you placed him in a romantic setting.
But we were in the castle.
Call it what you will. You were prisoners and obviously wanted your jailer out of the way.
We went to Mr. Gillette for help.
Fiendishly clever, that man. He was trying to trick you.
I don't doubt that.
Well, then let me have the incriminating evidence.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The pistol. You have it in your pocket?
Well, this is nothing but a harmless piece of wood. I want to keep it as a souvenir.
The last thing in the world to be found on your person. Give it to me.
Never mind the doorbell. There's no one inside, and I have the key.
It seems to be a commotion at the front door, and I must be on my way.
Will you take us with you?
Not where I'm going, but don't worry about being apprehended.
All we want to do is go home.
Scotland Yard would like to know your whereabouts, but I'll put them off the scent. Any imposter who masquerades as Sherlock Holmes deserves to be put out of the way.
But what will become of us?
You two go out that door, and I'll just slip down the passageway behind the fireplace. Believe me, this has been a most refreshing encounter.
You're a new man, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am. First day on the job.
We've been short-handed, and we closed up early last evening. There's lots to be done before the first visitors arrive. Now, come this way.
Big, isn't it?
First, we check the Great Hall. Oh, wouldn't you know, these tourists always leave something behind. Oh, here's a pair of dark glasses and a key ring. Some sort of jewel on it. Oh, I don't think it's valuable. However, I'll show you where we keep these things with the rest of the lost and found.
we should leave by this door.
I'm not sure I want to.
We can't stay here. And if you won't open the door, I will. Oh, Jim, it's all right. It opens into the hallway of the castle.
I'll show you the library.
And listen. We're all right, Jim. That's the guide. We're safe. I'm going to yell.
No, Pam, no, keep quiet.
I'm going to let them know we're here.
Come back into the Sherlock Holmes room. Now, don't make a sound.
Have you lost your mind?
I think I'm just finding it. Quick, come over here.
I don't want to spend another minute in this room.
But I found another way out. Mr. Gillette must have used it often. Here. Behind the fireplace.
Jim, all we have to do is call the guide.
It can't be found in here.
I'm going...
Just wait. There. You see? It's a secret staircase. And no cobwebs on this one.
I don't ever want to see another secret staircase.
You're going down this one.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Pam, we've got to. Now, come on, take my hand.
But the guide is coming.
Hurry. It's our only way out. No one in the world would believe us if we told them what happened here last night.
I, for one, am a believer, with reservations, of course. I do believe that a sense of wonder helps keep healthy minds in balance. Playwright Christopher Fry wrote an article on that subject in which he said, the first of our senses, which we should take care never to let rust through disuse, is that sixth sense, the imagination. That's what we're up to in presenting these dramas. Our way of keeping the wheels of your imagination from rusting. I'll be back with a further comment.
A message from CBS News. As the Republicans build their convention platform, many Americans have questions about the vital issues the party will debate. In Phoenix, Arizona.
What I'm really afraid of is that by the time my grandchild grows up, inflation and everything else is going to be so high, there's not going to be even Social Security left for her.
Do the Republicans have an answer? Complete convention coverage continues tonight on the CBS television network.
I will be watching.
It's a good feeling to sleep the night away on a perfect sleeper by Serta.
I'm Susan Anton. The Perfect Sleeper gives you the top comfort you love and the deep support you need. Top comfort, deep support. You get both from every Serta Perfect Sleeper. That's firmness that feels good. So,
be a perfect sleeper. Buy a perfect sleeper. Perfect sleeper by Serta.
The Ritual. Those children were far from innocent. The Ritual, pulsating with the unexpected horror of those who play deadly games. The Ritual. If Jonathan knew what was going to happen, he never would have left Diana alone with them. A horrifying tale of murder, ancient cults of evil, and shattered innocence. Read The Ritual, then go to sleep with the lights on. The Ritual, a Charter paperback.
This match is one of the world's most lethal weapons. It kills thousands of people each year, countless thousands of animals. It lays waste to millions of acres and destroys thousands of homes. It strikes at high noon and in the dead of night. Man created the match. Man uses it to his benefit and misuses it to his sorrow. Only you can prevent forest fires.
A public service of this station, the Smokey Bear Program, and the Ad Council.
There is a Gillette Castle towering above the Connecticut River near the town of East Haddam. The secret stairways are there, the intricate wood paneling and colored glass, fascinating memorabilia everywhere, and, of course, the Sherlock Holmes room, a replica of the Baker Street lodgings as described by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Tours of the castle are conducted daily throughout the summer. I assure you, it's a haunting experience. Our cast included Kevin McCarthy, Jada Rowland, Russell Horton, and Carol Teitel. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
Performance USA, the greatest entertainers in America, as requested by you, the fighting men of the United States Armed Forces throughout the world.
Command Performance!
Presented this week and every week till it's over. Over there. Get on the beam there, men. Here comes your personal radio show, Command Performance. Our opening letter is from Seaman First Class BRK. We made the call, and quicker than you could say Jack Robinson, we had your man, Edward G. Robinson.
Thank you, Paul Douglas, and greetings to Uncle Sam's fighting men wherever they may be. Tonight's command performance gets underway with this letter from Corporal LJP and 17 privates in the United States Army somewhere in the Pacific.
Dear Command Performance, we don't mind it when the dames out here put on those shredded wheat skirts and make with them naval maneuvers, but whoever told them they know how to play a ukulele must have been slap-happy. How about giving us Cliff Edwards, the original ukulele Ike, with a couple of those old-timers we used to sing when we took our best gals canoeing?
Your wish is our command. Here he is, Cliff Edwards. Thank you, Cliff Edwards. Now, by popular command, the return engagement of the former light heavyweight champion and present clown prince of the boxing profession, Slapsy Maxie Rosenblum.
Oh, no, it isn't the breeze. It's rose and blue. Thank you, Edward G. Robinson. And thanks to the many soldiers and sailors whom have wrote me. Whom? That's the word I picked up when I fought Gene Tunney. And then later they picked me up. Well, the biggest sporting news here in America this past week was the running of the Kentucky Derby. I went to Louisville for the race. Boy, what a crowd. I didn't get in until after the race was over. Neither did the horse I bet on. 2 hours after the track closed, my horse came running up all out of breath and said, "Which way did they go?" Well, this week a lot of the colleges announced they were doing away with spring training for football. Now, when I went to college, Lady, that was a very dirty laugh.
Now, when I went to college, isn't this carrying things a little too far, claiming you went to college?
But I did, Mr. Douglas, I did.
What was the name of the college?
Subnormal State.
Why didn't you go to a big college like me?
Huh?
I say, why didn't you go to a big college like me?
Where did you go to college?
Penn State.
What a coincidence.
Don't tell me you also went to Penn State.
No, State Penn. But I played football at Subnormal State.
On the freshman team?
Oh, no, I was never a freshman. I was so smart I skipped the freshman class and became a semi-four.
Why don't you admit it, Rosenblum? You never went to college.
Oh, no? You want to see my maternity pin?
You mean fraternity pin. I happen to belong to a frat myself. In fact, I'm president of my frat.
Oh, you're a fathead.
Well, all right. I lost my place. If you really went to college, tell me this. What did you study?
Oh, I studied morology.
Morology?
Trigonometry.
Trigonometry?
Suppositoriology.
Suppository. Yeah.
And bicyclogicology.
Oh, really? Did you take physics?
No, that makes me weak.
Well, champ, that's about enough sport news for tonight. Now, you be a nice little boy and go up to my dressing room, and after the show, I'll bring you up some Candy.
He's such a dope. He knows I don't smoke. Bye.
Thanks a lot, Maxie. Our next letter is picked out from a truckload of mail from the four corners of the earth, and it says this. Dear Command Performance, you can't imagine how much it means to us soldiers to have our request granted and heard all over the world. My own request is to hear the greatest blues singer in the country, Miss Jenny Sims. I'd like to hear her do a number and dedicate it especially to AOS, also down here in Panama. Signed, BNP. Well, BNP, for you and the host of other fighting men who have placed the request, I give you Jenny Sims.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. And thanks to the boys for inviting me here for a return engagement. I want you to know I'll be happy to come back just as often as you want me back, between now and the time that you come back. Here's your song, Somebody Loves Me. Somebody loves me. I wonder who. I wonder who he can be. Somebody loves me. I wish I knew.
And thanks to Lee Stevens, who's conducting our orchestra tonight. Now for Corporal CLB, who hears command performance at 5:30 p.m. Sundays. That's Iceland time. We're happy to present Park Your Carcass. Parky, we're glad to see you, but what are you doing in that soldier's uniform? I didn't know you were in the Army.
Oh, sure. How you like that uniform?
Well, it fits you a little too soon, doesn't it? Didn't they have one your size?
Well, you can laugh the way this uniform fits if you want, but I'm happy when I got anything to wear.
Well, what happened?
I'll tell you what happened. Last month, before I joined the Army, I was walking down the street in my civilian clothes, minding my own business in my own repulsive way. When all of a sudden a fellow walks up to me and says, "Say, don't you be Parky Carcass?" And I said, "Yes." He says, "I'll toss you for your shoes." He'll toss me for my shoes. Well, that sounded like a fair proposition. After all, he had as much sense to lose what I had, so I tossed him. So I'm walking around barefoot. So I'm walking down the street, and a little kid comes up to me. The kid says, "Say, don't you be Parky Carcass?" I said, "Yes." He says, "I'll hold your overcoat for a dime." I said, "What do I need you to hold my overcoat?" He says, "Well, it's hot, ain't it?" Well, it was a little warm. So I give him my coat. He says, "Where's the dime?" Well, I didn't happen to have a dime. He says, "You don't expect me to trust strangers, do you?" I said, "No, that sounded reasonable." So he says, "All right, I'll hold your coat for a deposit." So I'm walking down the street barefooted and no coat.
And I'm passing by a clothing store, and a fella standing outside. He says, "Say, don't you be Parky Carcass?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "I got it all ready for you." I said, "You got what all ready for me?" He said, "That suit, what you going to buy." I said, "I don't want a suit, and besides, I don't got no money." He says, "All right, in that case, I'll buy your suit." He says, "How much you want for it?" I said, "How can I sell this suit? It's the only suit I got." He says, "Listen, every man's got his price, ain't he?" Well, that sounded like good common sense. So I says, "Well, I suppose he has." He says, "All right, how much you think with that suit what you got on is worth?" Well, I look at my suit. It's kind of an old suit. I says, "I don't know, maybe $10. He says, "So." Well, what could I do? A sale is a sale. So I took off my suit and I give it to him. But he don't give me the money. I says, "Hey, where's the $10? He says, "What do you mean, where's the $10? Where you going to put $10? You don't got no pockets." I says, "What do you want me to do?" He says, "Come back when you have pockets." Well, the man was right. Wouldn't I look silly walking down the street in my underwear carrying $10 in my hand? So I'm walking down the street, no shoes, no coat, no suit. And all the people is staring on me. You think they never seen a fella wearing glasses before. Well, it was late in the afternoon. It started to get a little bit chilly. The breeze was hitting me right between Sunset and Santa Monica. Just then I happened to pass an Army recruiting office. So I think I could join the Army. At the same time, I'll get some clothes to wear. That's how I got in the Army, but it's wonderful and I love it. Yes, sir, the last 3 weeks has been the most wonderful 7 years I've spent in my life. And am I lucky because in my company we happen to have the most important man in the whole world. My top sergeant. The first day I got into camp, I wanted to talk to him. I like to be sociable to everybody, including human beings. I went right up to this fella. I says, "Good morning, Sergeant." He says, "Don't talk to me because I don't speak to anybody less than a sergeant, lower than a sergeant." I said to him, "What is lower than a sergeant?" Well, we both had a good laugh over that one. 10 days later, when I got out of the bridge, he gave me a furlough, and that's how I happened to come to Hollywood. And Mr. Robinson? Yes, Parky? I just want to tell you that I think that Hollywood is a wonderful place. Well, I'm glad you like it, Parky. Yes, sir. The people here, they're so congenial and so fair-minded. Why, just this morning I was walking down the street, and a total stranger came over to me, put his arm around me, and says, "Don't you be Parky Carcass?" I said, "Yes." He said, "I'll toss you for your shoes." Can you imagine a guy trying to pull that old gag on me? Well, what happened? Could you let me take a pair of sneakers till Friday? Thank you, Parker Carkers. And now, in response to requests from practically every place American fighting men are quartered, America's #1 dance orchestra, Glenn Miller.
Thank you, Edward G. Robinson, and hello to the Army, Navy, Marines, and Coast Guard. We're going to play the number most of you have requested, A String of Pearls.
you, Glenn Miller and Company. And now, in response to your many commands, most notably the petition with 27 names on it from that air base in the very far north, the popular star of stage, screen, and radio, Milton Berle.
Thank you, Eddie Robinson, and hello, everybody. I'm very, very glad to be here. I just came back from doing a show for the boys at the Marine base in San Diego. I flew up here in 10 minutes. Had an upper berth on Superman. I had a wonderful time down there, and believe me, it was thrilling. Really, the respect I got from those Marines, they all saluted me. Hey, come to think of it, they didn't have their thumbs in the right places. I love the way those Marines talk. You know, I stayed overnight at the camp, so I wanted to show the boys that I was one of the boys, you know, the Marines. So I said, where'll I park the body, buddy? He said to another guy, hey, Jeep, where does this creep sleep? The other one said, put that punk in a bunk. And during the show, I did a few songs, and after I finished, the general told me they wanted to use my voice in the war. What's a secret weapon? Eddie.
Yes, Mel.
Eddie, listen, you ought to take a little visit and get acquainted with the boys down there in San Diego. They were telling me how much they like your work in pictures. They like those tough guy gangsters that you portray.
Oh, thank you, Milton.
You know, Eddie, I'm making a picture myself now. I'm doing one of those parts. I play a rat.
Oh.
And believe me, I'm so believable already, I've had 4 offers from the Japanese government. By the way, Eddie, you noticed how excited I am tonight?
Yes, I was going to ask you about it.
Well, there's a special reason, and I want you to help me out. You see, you know who's going to be here tonight, don't you?
No.
The most glamorous star in Hollywood.
You mean Edna Mae Oliver?
Yeah, no. Hedy Lamarr.
Hedy Lamarr?
Yeah, don't get excited. You're not kidding. She's beautiful. Every time I look at her, the lump in my throat gets a lump in his throat. No kidding. Eddie, you got to do me a favor. I want to impress Hedy in the worst way.
Well, Milton, if you impress her at all, that's the way it'll be.
Well, will you do something?
What do you want me to do?
Eddie, look, she needs a new leading man.
Yeah.
She needs a new... So she's going to give me a chance to do a love scene with her. But I want to show her that I'm the brave type. So while I'm making love to Hedy Lamarr, I want you to come in and pose as a tough gangster. You know, that Little Caesar stuff?
Well, if I
you
can
and I,
remember it.
you remember it. You and I, we'll have a fight. I'll knock you down and I'll capture you. See, then I'm all set.
All right, Milton, anything for a pal. I'll do it.
Okay, here she is now. All right, get going. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce the very glamorous star of MGM Pictures, Hedy Lamarr. Hello, Hedy. How are you?
Hello, Milton.
You know, I'm so glad that you're here with us tonight. I think you're so beautiful, so charming, and your perfume smells so nice.
Isn't it funny how opposites attract opposites?
Are you kidding, Hedy? After all, I'm Milton Berle.
Shouldn't happen to a dog.
Yeah, well, I've had plenty of women crazy about me. I've had them throw money at my feet, throw jewels at my feet, throw their hearts at my feet.
What have your feet got that you haven't got?
Well, I still think that I make a great leading man for your pictures. I feel that I'm just the type that you've always needed.
Well, I don't know about that, Milton. I like the strong, heroic type of men.
Strong, heroic type of man? Well, I'm strong. I've got muscles in my arms that stick out like eggs.
Well, don't get too warm or they'll hatch.
Oh, yeah? Well, they don't call me Hercules Burrow. For nothing.
I'm only kidding, Milton. Let's go. Let's rehearse our love scene.
Oh, yeah, wonderful. A love scene with you, Hedy. Before we start, I want to ask you a favor.
What's that?
Has anyone got a vitamin tablet?
Milton, don't tell me you're shy.
No.
You know, I've heard a lot about Girl the Lover.
Oh, you have?
Yes. And it's too bad you weren't there to defend yourself.
Well, I'll show you. Come on, let's do that love scene. Come on, huh?
All right, Milton. Now, it's all very simple. All you have to do is keep your mind on your lines.
It's going to be awfully tough.
Why?
Can't keep my mind on my lines and have my eyes on yours at the same time.
Don't be silly, Milton. Now, just put your arms around me and hold me close to you.
No.
Now, come on, Milton.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to.
All right, then. Just whisper sweet nothings into my ear.
Okay, Hedy, look at me. Look at me and tell me the 3 words that will send me to heaven.
Stick 'em up.
Not now, Eddie, not now. Oh, my darling. You know what I want to hear you say?
Stick 'em up.
Robinson, please.
Stick 'em up or I quit.
Milton, Milton, I think this gentleman wants to talk to you.
Yeah? Well, he does want to speak to me. I'll talk to him. What do you want?
Well, this is a holdup, Bud.
Oh, yeah? Are you Jesse James, the gang leader?
Well, I ain't Harry James, the band leader.
Oh, Eddie, will you cut it out? You're overdoing it. Fear not, Eddie. Fear not. I will protect you with my life.
I'd feel safer with something more substantial.
Now, can the chatter, chick.
Now, just a minute. You cad, you bounder. You can't talk to this lady like that.
Get over in that corner, will you? I'll slug you.
Oh, yeah? Well, I dare you. I just dare you. Me and my big mouth. You just wait till I get off this floor. There, I'm up. You just wait till I get off this floor. There, I'm up.
Boys, are you fighting over me?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. I just want to...
Now, listen, tough guy. I'm going to teach you a lesson. Take this. Take this. Now, give me that one back and take this one instead.
Milton, look what you've done.
Oh, it's nothing at all, Hetty. I let him have it, didn't I?
I'll say you did, you brute.
Brute?
Yes. Shame on you hitting a poor burglar who only had one hand to defend himself.
What do you mean, one hand?
Well, he had to use the other hand to hold that great big gun.
Where am I?
Right here in my arms, son.
Oh, sister. If Humphrey Bogart could only see me now.
Come, Eddie, let's go. Oh, you're so masterful.
No, wait a minute, Hetty. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me that you knew this was Robinson all the time?
Certainly. That outfit he's wearing didn't fool me. Come on, Eddie, darling.
But, Hetty, what about our love scene?
I'll take care of that.
But, Hetty, how can you leave me for this guy?
Because you're a coward.
Coward?
Yes. The minute Eddie put up his hands, you lay down on the floor.
Well, why didn't he come down to the floor and fight like a man?
Well, so long, sucker. Come on, Haiti. Let's go to the Trocadero.
He's taking her to the Trocadero. He thinks he's put one over on me. The Trocadero is closed. They'll be all alone.
Just about completes another salute from Hollywood. Not from Warner Brothers, MGM, or RKO, but from AEF, the American Entertainment Front, proud to obey the commands of the world's finest fighting machine. Back here, where we shoot pictures, we haven't lost sight of the fact that you boys out there are doing some mighty important shooting of your own. When it's over, history will call the epic you're producing the freedom of humanity. Up in the beginning of it, some bad actors came in, stole a couple of scenes. But there's one thing those Japs can rely on. Come hell or high water, we'll be back for retakes. This is Edward G. Robinson saying goodnight from Hollywood, where we gave the world its first double feature, and where we're pulling for you to knock off 3 dictators and give the world its first triple feature.
That's it for this time, men. Write down those requests and send them in to Command Performance USA in care of the station to which you're listening. Put your letter in an envelope and slap down the flap. And, brother, in the meantime, slap down that Jap.